So having him on the field is a big deal for the Darlington Tigers, as well as getting some of these other guys back and healthy, and they're getting back and getting healthy at the right time.
Indeed. Well, let's do a little housekeeping, and then we're going to get you ready for our interview with head coach Tommy Atha here in a few minutes. But we do want to let you know that the Georgia High School Association is a voluntary nonprofit organization which is composed of over 460 public and private high schools. The GHSA administers regulations for region and state competition in 19 sports and 2 activities. Founded in 1908, the GHSA strives to promote good sportsmanship, participant safety, and fair play among its member schools. For more information, visit ghsa.net. You can follow them at Official GHSA on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And the Georgia High School Association would like to take this opportunity to thank its corporate partners for their valuable support of high school athletics and activities: Georgia Farm Bureau Insurance, Georgia Electric Membership Corporation, Gatorade, Wilson, BSN Sports, the Atlanta Hawks, Mizuno, Atlanta Braves, Subway, Sports Medicine South, Atlanta Track Club. Ian and I both members of the Atlanta Track Club, NFHS Network, Regions Bank, Max Preps, GoFan, and Georgia Public Broadcasting. Now that we have that out of the way, we are going to send it back to the studio for a few minutes. When we come back, we'll be joined by the head coach of the Darlington Tigers, Tommy Atha. Talk to him about the Thanksgiving break, the bye week, a little bit about this matchup, how things went in the last game against Walker, closing out the regular season. And we'll do that and more when we come back here on the Darlington Tiger pregame show on the Darlington Tiger Radio Network. We'll be back.
Here, I'm becoming who I want to be.
Here, I am looking toward my future.
Here, we learn from our failures so that we may soon succeed.
Here, we're passionate about learning and trying new things every day.
Here, we search for new perspectives and cultures so we can better understand the world.
Because at Darlington, we know we're in the most trusted hands.
As we discover new passions and learn more about ourselves through academics,
athletics,
fine arts,
and service to our community, we show our versatility as we choose different pathways to our goals.
This is our home.
We embrace challenges and persevere, even when something seems impossible.
We collaborate and create to take our place in the world.
We know that together we can make an impact.
This is our moment, our time.
Graduates today, Darlington forever.
At Darlington, we're proud to wear purple and white.
Because Tigers strive for greatness.
In the classroom and on the field.
We know that we can do anything, be anything,
achieve anything.
We're part of a program that is 100% dedicated to nourishing our minds and our bodies.
As teammates, we push each other further than we ever thought we could go.
Because every single one of us has something to contribute.
We practice hard so that when we compete, we can leave it all out on the field.
With each win, we build confidence.
With each loss is a lesson.
Our coaches teach us more than technique.
They prepare us to be good teammates,
friends,
and people.
We face adversity together
and push through to reach our goals.
We may struggle,
but we will never give up.
Because today,
tomorrow, forever.
We're Darlington Tigers.
Good sportsmanship by students, athletes, coaches, spectators, and all GHSA sanctioned events. Profanity, degrading remarks, and intimidating actions directed at officials or competitors will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from the event site. Spectators are not allowed to enter the competition area during warm-ups or while the contest is being conducted. Thank you for your cooperation in the promotion of good sportsmanship at today's event. Would you please stand for a prayer and then the playing of our national anthem. Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for the chance to gather out here today, especially during this week where we are thinking about all the things that we are thankful for. Thank you for friends and family and good food, but thank you also for football, Lord. Would you be with both teams? Would you be with the officials? Would you be with the fans, Lord? Would you watch over all of us and help us to have a great time out here tonight? It's in your Son's name who we especially thank you for. Amen. Welcome out to Savior Field for some Friday Night Lights football playoff style between your Mount Pisgah Patriots and the visiting Darlington Tigers. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Let's look at our officials. Our officials are Jeff Green, Jason Lyman, Jimmy Hollis, Kyle Miracle, Philip Woolard, Julius Young, Glenn Levin, Ronnie Hinton, and Jonathan James.
So, they don't have a locker room. They're in the tent.
Nice. Still works.
Yep, and we are back live. We are at the PAC, which is the Patriot Athletic Campus here in Johns Creek. Mount Pisgah Christian School's home field here tonight, and we are excited to be with the Darlington Tigers as they get ready to embark on a playoff journey here in the first round. So really looking forward to this football game. But before we move along in our commentary here on the pregame show, do want to take an opportunity to thank our radio sponsors that have been with us throughout the season. Floyd Medical Center, Honeymoon Bakery, sponsor of the icing on the cake player of the game. Always look forward to awarding that at the end of the night. Always have our work cut out for us with that award because a lot of guys contribute to this football team.
Absolutely.
Riverside Auto Group, Avery Drugs, also Rome Orthopedic Center with us tonight, Ware Mechanical, Jower Scalar Insurance. So thank you so much. We really appreciate you making it possible for us to be here tonight and for every game throughout the season. I thought we would take a little bit of time in as we near kickoff, which is 4.5 minutes away, and talk a little bit of keys to the game. I'll start us off. One of the first things I think that Darlington has to do in order to be successful, and Coach Atha touched on this in our pregame show, is find ways to pressure the quarterback, Coleman Smith. He's got a good arm, throws the ball a lot. You cannot allow him time to get his feet set and make the throws that he's comfortable making. You got to get in his head early.
And you really want to get that with your front four, and that starts with guys like Davis Watson and Joe Marion, who have had a lot of success getting to the quarterback this year. If they can put a little pressure on him, make him uncomfortable, that'll go a long way in getting the Patriots off rhythm in their offense.
No question about it. Also, the line of scrimmage, one of the things that usually is an advantage for the Darlington Tigers and is a hallmark of the program is the physicality that they approach the game with, and that starts with the big guys up front, and that is certainly a key in this game, as every game for that matter.
Yeah, absolutely. If they can get that push, and again, Coach Atha said it in his pregame interview, they've got to respect the run too. We know that the Pats like to sling the ball around the yard, but they'll still get you with the run, so they've got to be sound, stay in their gaps, and get after the quarterback.
Indeed, and then the last key to the game, and this is, again, one of those ones you could say for every game, you have to limit your mistakes. When you're playing up against a team that you match up pretty closely with, I think we're going to have a great game. You can't make mistakes in terms of penalties, turnovers, things of that nature. You got to play a pretty clean game.
Yeah, when you get to the playoffs, and it's true anytime, Matt, but those turnovers, those are the difference makers. And what you do with the turnovers that you might get, they've got to take advantage of that. Darlington has struggled at times this year when they get a sudden change to cash in on those opportunities tonight. They've got to do that.
Indeed they do. The captains are about to come out here for the Tigers here in just a few moments. We'll catch their numbers and let you know who they are going to be tonight. But again, we are just a matter of a couple of minutes away from the kickoff of the first round of the playoffs. And as we go along throughout tonight's action, we'll certainly be keeping an eye on that Prince Avenue Christian, Hebron Christian game in particular, because the winner of this game, well, they're going to go on next week. If it's Prince Avenue Christian, that game will be in Bogart, Georgia, which is over near Athens. I hope I said that right. I believe I did. And then if Hebron were to come up with a pretty sizable upset, I think you would say about that matchup, then the team that wins this game would be the higher-seeded team, and they would get a home playoff game. So yeah, that would be interesting.
We don't expect that to happen, and while Matt and I will be keeping an eye on that action, we hope both these teams are focused on the guys across the line of scrimmage from them, because this is going to be a heck of a ball game. I did catch the captains for you, Matt. You've got Davis Watson, Joe Marion, Joey Kite, and Patrick Shelley.
And for the home team tonight, Mount Pisgah Christian, their quarterback, Coleman Smith, is coming out onto the field. He will be a part of the coin toss along with Davis Watson, who's going out there for the Tigers. The other captains tonight for Mount Pisgah, you have David Bertrand, and then the other one is Nick Jackson. So there are your captains tonight. They are at the middle of the field, and we are about to have the coin toss.
This is a very vocal Mount Pisgah team. We've done a lot of high school football games. I don't know if I've seen more pregame hype in a team ever. They were out there just screaming and really trying to rally each other up. Right now, their offensive linemen are down there slapping themselves in the head. They're ready to play some football. We know the Tigers just go about their business in a little bit of a different way.
There's no question about it. They are dialed in. As a matter of fact, earlier this week I had the opportunity to go out on Wednesday and watch the team practice, and that was one of the things that really jumped off the page, is at how focused this team was on taking the instruction from Coach Atha and the rest of the coaching staff at Darlington. They're dialed in, man, let me tell you.
And you took in that whole practice, Matt. You were really impressed with the way they were out there concentrating on the game plan.
The Patriots are going to receive the opening kickoff. Did they win the toss?
I believe that Darlington won and did as they usually do, Matt, and deferred to the second.
Thank you very much on the assist there on that one. And we're going to get this thing underway here in just a couple of moments to tell you a little bit more about these two teams, how they got to this point. Darlington went 6-4 during the regular season, and so did Mount Pisgah. The Patriots, they were 6-4, went 3-1 in their region. So Darlington comes in as a number 3 seed on the road, facing a 2 seed here in this first round matchup.
Yeah, and it was a hard-fought battle for that region. Darlington played a really tough schedule. Mount Pisgah did as well. There was a lot of crossover as far as the opponents that they played, as Darlington had to have 6 non-region games, as you know, Matt, and a lot of those were with common opponents. So these two teams have run into those common opponents, and now they get to play each other. We're expecting a really, really solid, close ball game here tonight. And the Tigers are experienced, man. They've played a lot of those throughout the season. They are battle-tested.
Indeed, they have. The Patriots posted their first winning season since 2017 this year, going 6-4. As we mentioned, they were 3-7 and missed the playoffs each of the last 2 seasons. Before that, they had been in the playoffs 6 straight seasons, getting as far as the semifinals back in 2013. More on that in just a little bit.
And Matt, you know, one guy you've talked to me a lot about is their quarterback, and Coleman Smith is leading the state in passing yards. Is that correct?
He is indeed. Last week, going into their game against St. Francis, he had 2,522 yards. I'm not sure how many yards he had last week. But now, I did read today in the Rome News Tribune, Michael Barron put in there that he was number 1 in the state in passing yards.
So these guys like to sling it around the yard, and the Darlington defense is going to have to be really solid in the secondary. Lucky for them, they've got a ton of experience back there, led by Patrick Shelley at that safety position, who has been playing great, lights-out ball on defense. I mean, we talk about him as a quarterback and an offensive player a lot, but he's really played well at that safety position. He's going to need to have a heck of a game tonight.
Nick Sparrows on the far side. Patriots are going to be working from right to left. On the near side is going to be Garrett Sutherland. And those are going to be the men back deep here for the Patriots as we get ready to kick off this game. As you pointed out, great to see Brinson Sumner back in the lineup tonight. He has the ball teed up, and ladies and gentlemen, round 1 of the playoffs begins now. And let's see what they're going to do here on this opening kickoff. And it looks like they're going to kick it away. That's going to be a long kick that goes all the way into the end zone. And so the Patriots will set up on the 20-yard line after the touchback.
And, Matt, that little wrinkle in special teams was something Darlington introduced against North Cobb Christian. Obviously, the coaching staff at Mount Pisgah did a good job watching the tape because they adjusted to that formation and were ready for that potential onside kick, but Darlington's going to keep them guessing.
So going to the line of scrimmage go the Patriots. Coleman Smith, their quarterback, leading the state in passing yards. He's going to send 3 wide receivers to the far side, 1 to the near. He's got 1 man back in the backfield with him. That's Honeycutt. There's the snap. They're going to run it up the middle, and they're going to pick up a pretty limited amount of yards, maybe about 3 yards on that first play.
Yeah, Joe Marion on the tackle there. He just crashed down from his defensive end position and shut that down, and Harrison Allen came in to clean up and assist. But a nice start for the Darlington defense. You want to keep this team behind the chains. Winning the battle up front, Matt, we talked about how important that is.
2nd down and 8 for the Patriots here on the first drive of the football game. Again, working right to left. The Patriots have their navy blue uniforms on with red helmets, white numbers, and letters. There's a pass to the right side. That is going to be knocked down, incomplete.
I tell you what, the Darlington defender there, I'm going to catch his number. It was Thomas Bethel that almost cut on that ball, and that would have been a pick 6, man. He was all over it. Great defense there by the Darlington Tigers.
3rd down and 8 forthcoming here for the Patriots. Just underway from the pack here in Johns Creek, Georgia. Playoff action in the first round after Darlington enjoyed a bye week last week. They're going to send trips to the near side, 1 wide receiver to the far side. Smith has him in the gun. Here comes the 3rd down and 8 snap. He's going to throw a quick pass to the right side. Miscommunication with the receiver. Hadn't turned around yet. and that's going to be an incomplete pass.
And actually hit Thomas Bethel right in the backside with that throw. Total miscommunication and a great start for Darlington, getting a 3-and-out here to get their offense the ball, and they should get it in pretty good field position with Patrick Shelley back at the Tigers' 41-yard line to receive.
So the Tigers about to get their first possession of the football game. On to punt here for the Patriots. Let me catch his number here in just a moment. The kick is on the way. It's going to drop right at midfield, takes a nice Patriots bounce, and it's going to roll all the way down to the 32-yard line. That turned out to be a very good punt.
Yeah, it was a good punt. Good pressure there by Darlington. Joe Marion got back there and put a lot of heat on the punter. He was able to get it off. It was a short kick, but took a really good bounce, and there was no return. So the Tigers are going to take over at their own 35-yard line for their first drive.
Owen Lindsay, by the way, was the punter there for the Patriots. So no score here with 11 minutes left here in the first quarter as Darlington gets ready to start their first drive of the football game with the ball on the 30-yard line. And again, 11 minutes left here in the first quarter.
Interesting formation. Darlington's coming out here in a stack.
Going to send a wide receiver to the far side, one to the near. Shelley is going to line up under center. Now they're going to split a wide receiver off to the far side in the slot, working from left to right. Darlington in their white uniforms. They're going to hand the ball off to Harrison Allen, and he gets a big, sizable chunk of yards out on the edge and gets about 13 yards.
Yeah, great patient run there by Harrison Allen. He waited for his blockers to set up his hole, and he nailed it once he got to the outside, picked up 13 yards. That's a nice start for Darlington. If you can pound the rock with this offense, it opens everything up as far as the playbook's concerned.
Two wide receivers to the near side, one on the far side. Shelley with him in the gun, Allen in the backfield. They're going right back to him, runs up the middle, and finds about 3 or 4 yards. Pretty good run on first down.
Yeah. And again, the yak, that's the name of Harrison Allen's game, man. He can take the punishment and keep those legs moving and pick up those tough yards. Really, that should have been a 2-yard gain. He fights for those extra 2 yards, and that makes a difference as the game wears on.
So 2nd down and 7 here for the Darlington Tigers. The ball is now on the 49-yard line on the Patriots side of the field. We are scoreless here. Been playing for about 2 minutes here in this first quarter, almost down to the 10-minute mark. Going to have 3 wide receivers to the near side, one on the far side, empty backfield now. Harrison comes over. He's going to be flanked to the right of the quarterback, Shelley. He hands it to Allen. He's off to the races. Stays up, down inside the 30-yard line. They haul him out of bounds at about the 29. That was another big play.
And, it's obvious the game plan is to get Harrison Allen involved. They saw something that they liked. They've got an advantage here. Darlington's offensive line is really winning the battles here on these first 3 plays. A big gain for Harrison Allen.
2 wide receivers on the far side, one on the near. Allen in the backfield with Shelley with 1st and 10 now at the 29-yard line on the Patriots side of the field. Shelley looking off to the sidelines, getting some instruction. Now they're going to shift some guys around before the snap here in just a couple of moments. Still getting some instruction. I think there's a little bit of confusion as they get lined up for this play. Now they're going to have 2 wide on the far side, 1 on the near. There's the snap. They're going to give back to Allen. Runs up the middle, finds a big hole. He is down to the 15-yard line. Darlington is in the red zone.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. 4 plays, 4 carries by Harrison Allen. He is picking up big chunks of yardage, and Darlington is in the red zone at the 15-yard line.
So the Tigers will go back to the line of scrimmage, moving the ball methodically with the run game down the field, and are threatening here early in the first quarter.
Absolutely, man. Great start. You've got to love what you're seeing from the big nasties up front. They are really blowing the Patriots off the ball, and Harrison Allen is taking advantage of the holes that they are creating.
No score yet, but that could change in a moment. Darlington in the red zone. 2 wide receivers to the far side, 1 on the near. There's the snap to Shelley. Hands back to Allen. He's now down at the 10-yard line before being tripped up.
Yeah, but you'll take 5 yards on first down all night long. So far, the shortest play they've had from scrimmage was 4 yards. So this is really working for them. Now it gets a little tougher to pick up yardage once you get down here near the goal line. So we'll see if there are any wrinkles in this or if they just stick to the formula and keep pounding the rock with Harrison Allen.
Two wide receivers on the far side, one on the near. Allen in the backfield with Shelley. There's the snap on second down. Rolling out to his left is Shelley. Cuts inside. He's heading towards the pylon on the far side. Dives. And ladies and gentlemen, he is going to be in the end zone for an 11-yard touchdown.
Look, we haven't seen it that often with Darlington this year. The fast starts have been limited. It's great to see them get a score this early. That time they go quarterback sweep. They had been handing it to Allen. That time, a little fake to Allen, and then Shelley follows him around the left side, gets to the edge, makes a really nice cut, and powers his way into the end zone to get the Tigers the early lead on the road. What a start.
And Brenton Sumner on to attempt the extra point. The hold will be handled by Jack Payne. Long snapper is Mason McKenzie. We get ready for the snap, and the snap is about to be on the way. There's the hold, the kick on the way, and that is going to be through the uprights and good. Darlington on top, 7-0.
Yeah, great start there, Matt. No doubt what the game plan is here. Darlington's going to run it down their throat, and they did it successfully there. That drive started at the 35-yard line, so they went 65 yards on 6 plays. Patrick Shelley scores from 10 yards out, and you've got an early lead for the Tigers.
Indeed. Glad you're with us tonight, whether you're listening on the radio at WLAQ or if you're watching the video stream. We really appreciate you tuning in throughout the season, and hopefully this is going to be a Tigers victory tonight and on to the second round, but we got a long way to go. But as you mentioned, Ian, the Tigers off to a good start. They get a stop to start the game, pick up a score on a methodical drive, keeping the ball on the ground. So 7-0.
Yeah, 5 carries for Harrison Allen on that drive for 55 yards. Shelley caps it off with a 10-yard TD run. Hey, man, that's just what the doctor ordered, and we'll see if the defense can come out and get another 3 and out. But momentum on the Tigers side early.
So Brenton Sumner has it teed up. 2 men back here for the Patriots. That's going to be a pretty long kick, and that's going to sail into the end zone. 2 touchbacks in a row for Mr. Sumner.
Indeed. Good to have him back. And we definitely want to give credit to Hendricks Jones, who did a nice job, a freshman coming out and kicking in his stead against Walker. But Mr. Sumner gets to finish off his career here in the playoffs, and we'll see how far the Tigers can go. But, man, it couldn't start much better, could it?
It really couldn't have, man. And as we talked about in the pregame, had the opportunity to go watch the Tigers practice on Wednesday, and you could really tell how focused and dialed in this team was in preparation for this game. So I'm not surprised by it, to be honest with you. Empty backfield here for Mr. Smith. He's going to take it and run it himself. Runs off right tackle, picks up about 8 or 9 yards. That was a good play.
Yeah, they went empty there and then brought the tailback in motion. He faked the jet sweep and then went up the middle, and he's definitely got some wheels, Matt. We know he can throw it around, but showed some good speed there on that run.
The win at Walker a couple of weeks ago secured a winning season for the Darlington Tigers. Tommy Eighth has been the head coach for 19 seasons, never had a losing season. That is a big-time accomplishment. Smith with 1 man in the backfield. He's going to hand it off to his running back and get that yard and then some there for the first down. That was Tyler Honeycutt.
So the Patriots tried to establish the run here on their second drive. They were able to convert there and move the chains.
So the Patriots, who went 3 and out on their first drive, as you mentioned, get a first down. They've got the ball on the 35-yard line, setting up shop with 1st and 10, trailing your Darlington Tigers 7-0. 1 man back in the backfield with the quarterback. That's Honeycutt. Otherwise, 4 wide receivers, 2 on each side. They're going to throw a quick pass, and that's going to be incomplete. Wide receiver could not quite handle it. It was Cole Spence.
Yeah, that ball was on the money just to drop. You know, Spence would like to have that back. The Tigers are glad he didn't hold on. It sets up 2nd and 10.
Of course, we'll be keeping you up to date with other scores from local teams. Of course, a lot of teams are going to be playing tomorrow in terms of AA and 4A schools. They're playing on Saturday this year, or at least for the first round. Shotgun formation, man goes in motion. Smith is going to give to Honeycutt, who runs off to the right side of the formation. He's dropped right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, DJ Johnson and Tyler Watkins making the play out there. Good-looking tackle.
So he got a yard, but that's going to bring up 3rd down and 9 here for the Patriots. So the Darlington Tigers defense has got an opportunity here to get a stop and get off the field on 3rd down.
Davis Watson actually made that tackle. Just wanted to make a correction there. I saw it on the replay.
What a luxury it is to have replays.
It's great.
Isn't it?
It's really great.
3 wide receivers to the near side, 1 on the far side. Coleman Smith, the quarterback, has his team in a 3rd and 9 situation. Getting ready for the next play. He drops back. He's got company in the backfield, and he's going to put it in the air. Is able to connect with a wide receiver who stays up. Somebody lost a helmet. Number 22, Garrett Sutherland, with some yards after contact. They pick up the first down.
Yeah, Matt, we talked about getting after the quarterback, and that time the Tigers got pressure with 4. Davis Watson almost got home. Then it was Darius Smith that had a chance at him, but Coleman Smith made both of them miss. Found his check down, and they were able to convert that into a first down. So just a great play there by Smith, eluding pressure in the pocket.
7-0 if you've just tuned in. 5:52 remaining here in the opening quarter of play here from Johns Creek. We're at Mount Pisgah. We're not really at the school. We're on their athletic campus, as they call it, the PAC. Shotgun formation for 1st and 10. And running with a football is going to be Galinsky, I believe. No. Honeycutt.
It was Honeycutt
again.
Yeah, and that was Joe Marion and Harrison Allen that tag team that tackle. That was a really rude hit. Love to see that. These guys love to fly around. And like you said the other day, Joe Marion's never met a person he doesn't like to hit, right?
He loves it, man.
Yeah.
You can tell it. You can see the enthusiasm for sure for the contact. 2nd down and 7 here for the Patriots. Shotgun formation. They'll have a couple of receivers sort of stacked on each side of the formation, but in tight. There's the snap. Quarterback drops back. He rolls to his right, and he gets pummeled, and it's going to be intercepted. He got the ball out. Coming in and making the grab was that Harrison Allen.
It was Harrison Allen, and they brought a delayed blitz there. And I'm trying to see who got home at the end. I can't see the number on the replay, but Coleman Smith made an ill-advised throw there, and Harrison Allen was able to get his hands under that ball and catch it cleanly. And there's your first turnover of the game. We talked about in the pregame how important that is. Now Darlington sets up with great field position. Can they cash in on the opportunity?
So Darlington is going to set up here on the 46-yard line on their side of the field. So the Tigers line up with 3 wide receivers on the far side, 1 on the near, working from left to right. And they're going to hand it off to Allen, who pitches to another man, and he's going to be brought down. That was Thomas Bethel for a big loss.
Yeah, Darlington went razzle-dazzle, and it backfired. You got to give credit to the young man, number 54, Nick Jackson, who stayed home and made the play. But a 10-yard loss there on the reverse, actually an 11-yard loss, so that'll set up a 2nd and 21. Not the direction you want to go in, but I like the play call anyway.
Tigers up 7-0. Now they've got a 2nd and 21 forthcoming with the ball on their own 35-yard line.
And you just want to try to get this 3rd and manageable. So it'll be interesting to see what they dial up here on 2nd and very long.
2 wide on the far side, a couple on the near. Allen in the backfield. They're going to fake the handoff. Quarterback runs up the middle. He's got a lot of green grass. Stays up. Gets down to about the 46-yard line on the Patriots side of the field. And he almost got a first down.
He did. That'll work. You know, you wanted to pick up half of it, but they go read option, and Patrick Shelley takes off the middle. He got a good crease, and he hit it with everything he had and was able to pick up about 18 to close to 19 yards to set up a 3rd and 2.
They're going to bring in the jumbo package here for this particular down, 3rd down and 2 with the ball on the 46 in Patriots territory. There's the snap. The give to Allen, stays up, and is going to bring it down to about the 39-yard line, so he got the first down and then a few more after that.
I tell you what, you know, I like the trick play coming off a turnover. I think they were going to try to go for a big chunk play, see if they could hit a home run, but the running game is flat working tonight for the Darlington Tigers. They are getting the push and just picking up big gains every time they hand off the rock. So I think they'll probably stick with that until the Patriots show they can stop it.
So this is going to be 1st and 10 with the ball right at the 40-yard line in Patriots territory. Darlington up 7-0, 4 wide set, 2 on each side, working left to right. Allen in the backfield. Going to look towards his left and put the ball in the air, connects with a wide receiver, and that is Gabe Simpkins, who made a great grab and gets down to the 23.
And I tell you what, Gabe Simpkins, you know, he hasn't seen too many targets this year, but when he gets his hands on the ball, man, it's a big play. He scored a really long touchdown against Christian Heritage, and that time he takes a screen and really makes it work, picking up big yards.
1st down and 10 for the Tigers with the ball on the 24-yard line, threatening to get into the red zone. 2 wide on each side. They go back to Allen for this down. Nice move towards the left side, stays up and gets to the 15.
Yeah, that we'll see if they move the change. The spot looks a little short. We'll see if they decide to. Yeah, they're going to say it's just short, so it will be 2nd down and 1.
Short for Darlington.
So the Tigers are right at the 15-yard line. Line to gain is the 14 for that first down. Tigers in the red zone. They're going to have Allen in the backfield, 2 wide on each side. They're going to give it right back to Allen, and he just busts through the pile, gets a first down, and they're going to set up, it looks like, around the 11 or 12.
Darlington continues the march here. You want to get points off turnovers, Matt, and they are in position to hopefully cash this in for a touchdown and get off to a 14-0 lead. But 10 more yards before they can accomplish that.
On their second drive of the night, the Patriots had picked up a couple of first downs, were moving the ball, and an ill-advised throw was picked off by Harrison Allen, and that gave the ball back to the Tigers, who lead at 7-0. We're under 2 minutes to play here in the first quarter, and this is 1st and 10 from the 11. There's the snap, going to hand it off to Allen, runs it out to the edge on the near side, and he runs out of real estate. That's going to be a no gain.
Yeah, that's the first time all night that they have not allowed him to get past the line of scrimmage. Just good pursuit there from the Patriots defenders, led by Nick Sparrows.
Only score of the night so far was the Tigers on their first drive of the game, an 11-yard run for quarterback Patrick Shelley. And the extra point was good. That put Darlington up 7-0 with 8 minutes left here in the first quarter. Now we're down to 1 minute and 12 seconds left with the Tigers threatening here late in the first quarter.
Patrick Shelley looking over to the sideline to see what the play call will be. 10 seconds on the play clock here. They're going to have to call timeout, Matt, I would believe, or really rush this snap.
3 wide receivers on the far side, 1 on the near. They'll snap the ball. Quarterback's going to keep, runs up the middle on the read option, and he gets inside the 5 down to the 4.
And they can pick up a first down inside the 2-yard line here, so they don't have to get to the end zone, but they look like they're bringing out the heavy set here to pick up these much-needed 2 yards, or, take it to the house. We'll take that as well.
Absolutely. So, again, jumbo set here for 3rd down and 3 with the ball on the 4-yard line. Shelley under center takes the snap. The give to Allen, diving forward, I believe. He broke the plane. Yes, he did.
He did.
And that is a 4-yard touchdown there for the Darlington Tigers. They're up 13-0 pending PAT.
And I tell you what, that noise you're hearing, those are Tiger fans. They have sucked the air out of the Patriot faithful here with a quick start. Matt, this is the first time in a big game that Darlington has managed to get out to an early lead. It's going to be fun to see how they manage that going forward, but the running game is firing on all cylinders.
17 seconds left in the first quarter. As you mentioned, Darlington firing on all cylinders, up 13-0. Brinson Sumner on to attempt the extra point, so we'll wait for the snap in just a moment. Hold again will be handled by Jack Payne. And here comes the snap. Hold looks good. Kick on the way. And it is good. 14-0.
What a start, Matt. What a start. First drive was 65 yards. This time, technically they went 55 yards, but, they lost 11 on the first play from scrimmage on that drive, so they pretty much had to drive the same distance. They did it the same way. Patrick Shelley with a couple of big runs, but a lot more Harrison Allen. Mixed in one pass to Gabe Simpkins. I think he picked up around 13, 14 yards on that reception. But again, Darlington has put themselves in a position here to succeed. They're not putting themselves in 3rd and long. We haven't seen any penalties or mistakes. Everything we talked about in the pregame that they needed to do to win this game so far in this quarter, they've absolutely executed.
No question about it, and I'm sure you would agree with this, but throughout the season, it feels like we have not seen the best game that is in this Darlington Tigers football team. And so far, this first quarter, they have looked sharp as a tack. So you always want to be playing your best football when you get into the playoffs. And so far tonight, it certainly looks like the Darlington Tigers have really hit a stride.
Yeah, they are focused. You want to keep the pedal down, though, at this point, man. They've set the tone. Now it's time to keep the pedal down.
Coach, here comes the kickoff from Brinson Sumner. It's on the way. End over end. That one's going to sail into the end zone. 3rd touchback in a row on kickoff.
He's 3 for 3 as far as touchbacks on kickoffs, and he's popped through both his extra points. Good to have Brinson Sumner back.
Indeed it is. Tell you a little bit about the coach here, the head coach for the Patriots, Mike Forrester. He took over the program back in 2013. That season, they won 12 straight games and were eliminated by Aquinas in the semifinals. Aquinas would go on to win the state championship. By the way, they lost that game to Aquinas that year by 1 point.
Man.
That was a good football
Tough
team.
loss.
Shotgun formation, 4-wide set for the Patriots, working from right to left, starting from the 20 to go to work, and a fake.
Fumble.
Ball is loose. I believe the Patriots were able to, no. We'll see when they come up from the pile.
It looked like a Patriot got on top of it, and that indeed is the case.
Yep.
It will be second down, but we talked about pressure in the quarterback. That time, Joe Marion, and it was actually, and I want to make sure I get this right, it was Bryant Powell that stripped that ball. Marion swept around. Powell came inside on the rush, made a nice play, swatted that ball with his left hand, and that'll end the first quarter.
Indeed. At the end of one, Darlington 14, Patriots 0. We're going to send it back to the studio for a 1-minute break, and we will be back on the Darlington Tiger Radio Network.
Second down, Patriots to start the second quarter.
All right, we are back here from Johns Creek, Georgia, where the Patriots of Mount Pisgah Christian line up. They're going to throw a pass to the near side. That's incomplete. That is going to bring up third down and long.
Right now, Darlington's got this Patriot offense rattled. They just don't look like they're in rhythm at all. And that's a product of the good pass rush, and they're not having to bring extra guys, man. We talked about how important that was. Yeah, you want to pressure the quarterback, but if you've got a blitz to do it, you're going to give some opportunities to the offense, and they've been able to just get after them with their 4-down linemen. It's been fun to watch.
It has been a lot of fun to watch. 3rd down and 12 here for the Patriots. Darlington leading it as we just started our second quarter. 14-0 is your score after a couple of rushing touchdowns, one for Patrick Shelley, and then Harrison Allen capped off the last drive. Empty backfield for Coleman Smith, the quarterback for the Patriots. He's going to put the ball in the air. He's got some pretty good air underneath it, and that is going to be incomplete. Wide receiver just couldn't quite get to it.
And I didn't see who his target was. I think it was number 22.
Sutherland.
Garrett Sutherland. And, yeah, it was a really well-thrown ball. And you got to like that. 3rd and long, take a shot downfield, see if you can pop a big play. He actually got behind the defense, just couldn't reel it in. And Darlington once again has forced a 3-and-out. This is the second time that's happened, twice in 3 drives, and Patrick Shelley's back to receive the punt. Darlington will get the ball with decent field position to start their 3rd possession.
And we get ready for the punt here from Owen Lindsay for the Patriots. Kick is on the way. It's going to be a spiraling kick. Takes a nice bounce, and that is going to roll out of bounds around the 38. They've had a couple of really nice punts in this game.
Yeah, they have. And you might see Patrick Shelley move up a little bit so that he can get under those and prevent those bounces from, benefiting the Patriots so much. But still, good field position for Darlington. Not as good as it could have been, but they'll start at their own 38-yard line for their 3rd possession.
So the Tigers back out on the field on offense. They get ready to roll with a 14-0 lead here early in the second quarter of this football game.
And it looks like Harrison Allen's going to stay on the sidelines right now, and Thomas Bethel, who has been a real bright spot for this team and a nice change of pace wherever they end up putting him, but he looks like he's going to get some opportunities at that tailback position.
So the Tigers are going to line up with 2 wide receivers on the near side, 1 on the far side, working from right to left. They're going to hand the football off to Bethel, and he's going to pick up, man, with a lot of extra effort, a few yards.
Yeah, he was greeted right at the line of scrimmage, just kept those legs driving, was able to pick up almost 4 yards.
So the Tigers are going to shift around some personnel. Back out on the field is going to be Tyler Watkins going off as Darius Smith. Watkins is going to line up in the slot here on the near side. Again, Darlington working from right to left. Patrick Shelley in at quarterback with 4 wide receivers, and he's going to hand the football off, and they're going to go off to the near side left tackle with that run with Bethel, and he picks up a few more yards.
That'll set up a third and a long 3.
So third down for the Tigers, trying to extend this drive and extend the lead. 10:35 remaining here in the first quarter. Tigers will shift in some more personnel. Coming back out on the field is Harrison Allen.
And that's not a surprise.
No.
He's just running the ball so well.
They're going to line up in their jumbo set. Shelley's getting ready to take the snap. They're going to give it to Allen. He stays up, but he's going to be dropped. Maybe got about a yard, but nowhere near enough for the first down.
Yeah, and that was just a good stop there by the Patriots defense. Forced Harrison Allen into traffic. There was not much he could do there. And Darlington, for the first time tonight, will have to trot Brinson Sumner out to punt it away.
So the Tigers are going to punt and give the ball back here to the Patriots. The Patriots have had a hard time getting that offense going here in this football game. They've had a couple of 3-and-outs. They did have one drive where they picked up a couple of first downs, but then through an interception that Harrison Allen picked off. And here comes the kick from Brinson Sumner with one man back deep. And that is Sparrows for the Patriots, who signals for a fair catch and grabs it right at the 25.
And that's where they will take over for their 4th possession of the first half. 9:27 left in the second quarter. Darlington is leading 14-0. Those 14 points came on their first 2 possessions. Patrick Shelley cashed in on a 10-yard touchdown, and then on the second drive, Harrison Allen punched it in from 4 yards out. So it's been a great start for Darlington. They just stalled out, and now we'll have to defend once again.
4 wide receiver set. Coleman Smith with Honeycutt in the backfield as his lone running back on this package. There's the snap. Going to throw quick out to the far side into the flat. He's able to connect with Sutherland. He's pushed out of bounds with a 5-yard gain.
And there's a late flag here. I hope it's not a roughing the passer. I'll look on the replay and see if that happened, but it did come in late. So that's what I think it is. Personal foul. And it is roughing the passer on Darlington. First penalty of the game, correct?
Indeed.
Yeah.
Have not seen a single one until that play, and it's a biggie.
It is, absolutely. And right now, Darlington has them on their heels, and this is the kind of penalty that can spark something in an offense. See where this ball ends up getting. It's getting marched off from the 30, which was where the play ended. And they'll bring it out to the 45.
So a gift there for the Patriots. Sets them up, as you mentioned, at the 45-yard line, still in their own territory. But now with a first down, they'll come back to the line of scrimmage, trying to seize this wave of momentum. They're going to have 3 wide on the far side, a couple on the near. Empty backfield for Coleman Smith, the quarterback. Leads the state in passing yards in all classifications. He's going to run the football, stays up, and gets down to about the 46-yard line. So that was a good run there by their quarterback.
Yeah, they've run that play a couple of times. Looks like they're going to execute the jet sweep, but the quarterback fakes and keeps. He was keeping that the whole time. Hit the hole with a head full of steam, and was able to pick up good yards on first down.
And actually, they're going to spot that at the 49-yard line, just inside Darlington territory. 2 wide on each side of the formation, working from left to right. Darlington up 14-0. Patriots with the ball. They're going to throw a quick out into the flat here on the near side, and making the grab is going to be Nick Sparrows, and he picks up a few yards on that play, but not quite enough for the first down.
Yeah, it's just shy. Good spot there by the official, and that'll set Mount Pisgah up with a 3rd and 1.
This is the first round of the state playoffs. Cannot believe that we're already at that phase of the season.
Yeah, it really is nuts, isn't it, man?
It felt like the season started last week in some ways. Certainly not taking anything for granted this year, that's for sure. Two running backs flank the quarterback this time. They're going to hand the ball off on a delayed handoff. He gets the first down and then some. That was Nick Sparrows. That was a good run.
Yeah, really good run there off tackle and a big first down. The Patriots really need to sustain something here and get some points to climb back in this game. This drive started all the way back on the 25-yard line, but after a 5-yard gain and then a dead ball foul, it sparked what's happening now, which is a pretty good drive from the Pats.
Three wide receivers on the near side, one on the far side for the Patriots. In the backfield is Honeycutt with the quarterback. Coleman Smith's going to throw here to the near side, connects with his wide receiver, Nick Sparrows, and picks up another big chunk of yards. That's probably 7-8 yards.
And you see the adjustment that the Patriots have made here. The pressure was coming, and they've gone to a shorter passing game. They're really trying to get the ball out of Coleman Smith's hands, and they're starting to get a little rhythm going here. So the chess match begins.
Oh, no question about it. Coleman Smith comes back from the sidelines. They'll break the huddle, come back to the line of scrimmage, sending a wide receiver split far to the far side. On the far hash, they'll have two here on the short side of the field. Second down and 3, and there's a flag, second flag of the night.
Hard count there, and it pulled Darlington offsides, or they encroached.
That's right.
Yes.
So that will be a first down for the Patriots, and they are able to move the ball down to the 27-yard line, threatening to get into the red zone. Coleman Smith back out from the sidelines, brings his team into the huddle. They will go back to the line of scrimmage with a fresh set of downs with the ball on the 27-yard line. Three wide receivers to the far side, a couple to the near, empty backfield. Smith back there all alone. Man goes in motion. They're going to hand it off to the motion man. That's Honeycutt, and he is dropped by Patrick Shelley. What a great play.
Yeah, really great play there. There was actually some confusion out there on the far side of the field as far as who needed to cover who. That went on right up until the snap, but they gave it to Honeycutt, and Shelley came up from his safety position to lay the wood for a loss of 3 yards. 4 yards, actually.
After tonight's game, we'll have the Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game. Last week, it was Tyler Watkins.
Yeah, blocked a punt early that really just shifted the momentum Darlington's way, and they never let go of it.
Three wide receivers to the near side, a couple on the far side, empty backfield again for Coleman Smith here on this 2nd and 14 from the 31 on Darlington's side of the field. Smith's got company in the backfield, and he's able to get the ball out, but he takes a heavy hit. That's incomplete. A flag comes in.
And you're probably going to get a targeting on Davis Watson. And let me just be the first to say it's the right call, but that, I mean, that's just a tough one, man.
Nuts.
Yeah.
You can hear them probably over the crowd mic.
Yeah, there was nothing malicious about that. Marion came clean, and as he was bringing him down, I mean, it was a high hit, and they're going to call that every time, but there was nothing malicious about that. It was a good effort from Davis Watson, and just unfortunate the way the play unfolded. He wasn't going head hunting. It just happened that way.
So a drive that has been aided by a couple of big penalties, and now all of a sudden you've got the Patriots in the red zone with a first down at the 16-yard line. So Darlington's defense really needing to pin their ears back and see if they can come up with a stop here in the red zone.
They pinned their ears back on that last play. It just didn't work out for them, unfortunately.
Going to have three wide receivers on the near side, one on the far side. Honeycutt's going to split wide to the left. Quarterback's going to run the football up the middle. He's got some green grass. He's going to be dropped around the 2 by Patrick Shelley, who saved a touchdown right there.
He did, but they are knocking on the door. A nice run there by Coleman Smith, and the energy is back at the Pack.
It truly is. 14-0, Darlington leads it, but
got a Tiger down on the field there. Looks like a cramp, but they'll stop play, Matt, so I don't know if you want to cut away.
Well, let's see how quickly this young man's going to get up. And, yeah, we might want to take a quick break here. You're listening to WLAQ and the video feed from Darlington School right now. Darlington up 14-0, but it is first down and goal with the ball on the 2 for the Mount Pisgah Christian School Patriots, who are trying to climb back into this first-round game. We're going to step out for a 30-second break. We'll be back.
First and goal for the Patriots.
All right, here is first down and goal from the 2. He jumps into the end zone. That was the quarterback, Coleman Smith, and the Patriots are on the board.
Well, Matt, Tyler Watkins was the injured Tiger. He was able to run off the field under his own power, but as the Patriots retook the field, Coleman Smith easily got into the end zone. And I tell you what, Darlington had a chance to really just step on their throat with a couple of possessions there to stretch it to a 3-possession lead. They couldn't do it. A couple of big penalties there allowed the Pats back in.
And the extra point is on the way, and it is going to be good off the boot of Owen Lindsay, and it's a 14-7 one-score football game.
Yeah, 5:33 left here in this first half as it's moved quickly. Darlington has been leaning on a running game. It's been very successful so far. And I wouldn't be surprised with this amount of time left on the clock. That's probably the approach they'll take on this next possession.
So first scoring drive of the night for Mount Pisgah Christian, and that cuts the lead in half. 14-7 is your score. We've got 5:33 remaining here in this first half of football, and we felt like coming in, Ian, that this was going to be a good matchup, and with the looks of that last drive, it certainly looks like we better have those chin straps buckled because that was a good-looking drive. But you do have to mention the penalties helped them out quite a bit as well.
Yeah, two hits on the quarterback gave them 30 yards and really sparked that. A couple of good runs by Coleman Smith, not taking anything away from the Patriots, but Darlington just needs to focus on what has been working for them and go down and get a score before halftime. Get to the locker room with a 14-point lead.
So the ball is teed up as Owen Lindsay will kick it off for the Patriots. One man back deep here for the Tigers. That ball is going to roll out of bounds. And so good field position again here for the Darlington Tigers.
Yeah, and that'll end up being a 15-yard penalty there. That was a funny-looking kick. Had like a side spin to it. It went out of bounds, and Darlington will get decent field position to start this fourth possession.
And the Tigers so far throughout this game, they have certainly had the benefit of having good field position.
They have, and they've only thrown one pass tonight. It was a completion on a little wide receiver screen to Gabe Simpkins. Otherwise, it's been Harrison Allen, Patrick Shelley, and Thomas Bethel got a couple of carries on that last drive. But they've stuck to the running game, and it has worked for them. Are they going to have them re-kick it?
It's looking like it.
Yeah, looks like the Tigers opted to have them re-kick it. And we both know if this kicker doesn't have the leg to get to the end zone, Luke McDermott can make some things happen in the return game.
He really can. He's very shifty when he runs the football, has some quickness and some speed. And so if he finds a seam, he can get you a big chunk of yards.
He gets north and south. I love that, man. It's fun to watch the guys that are like joysticks, but this kid, he just gets up the field and makes good cuts. So they need to keep it away from him, but for the Tiger fans, we're hoping they kick it back there to him.
Owen Lindsay with it teed up again, this time from the 35-yard line, and he is going to kick it off. Ball is in the air. It's going to land in the arms of Tyler Watkins, who brings it out from the 15. He runs up the middle, now off to the far side. He's got some green grass, and he's going to be dropped at around the 37. So
they gained 2 yards out of it.
2 yards.
Yeah, got a little excitement, too. It looked like Watkins had himself a seam there for a second. But when the dust settles, it netted him 2 yards. You'll take every yard you can get.
That's right. So we got a 14-7 ball game right now. Darlington on top with 5:24 left here in the second quarter. Give you some scores from other playoff games at halftime.
There's some surprising ones, man. I just took a look.
4 wide receivers. There's a pitch to the right side to Harrison Allen, and he is going to be dropped. Maybe got a yard out of that play.
Yeah, it looked like he had some room to run out there, but the Patriots pursued that sideline to sideline very well. And they've made some adjustments on defense. Now, like we said, the chess match begins. This Patriots coaching staff, they aren't slouches, Matt. They know what they're doing.
No, they truly do. Second down and 8 here for the Darlington Tigers, so they did get 2 yards out of that play. Ball's on the 39-yard line. Darlington working from right to left. Beautiful night for football. 3 wide receivers to the near side, 1 on the far side. Man goes in motion, and they're going to throw a quick pass into the flat here to Harrison Allen. Finds some room on the edge, stays up, and he's going to be about 2 yards short of the first down, but that was a big play on second down.
Yeah, just a nice little swing pattern there to Harrison Allen just to try to get him some leverage on the outside. He did a real nice job with the stiff arm on the first tackler, put his shoulder into the second, and the guy loves contact. There's no doubt about it. Puts him in a position here in 3rd and short to keep this drive alive.
Darius Smith out on the field for the Tigers. Tyler Watkins trots off the field. You're going to have 2 wide receivers on the far side, 1 on the near for 3rd and short. Shelley looks off to the sidelines. And now Smith shifts off to the left side of the formation in that sniffer position. There's the snap to Shelley and the give to Allen. He is going to be stopped short. And that's going to be a 3rd down stop for this Patriots defense.
And the crowd is fired up after that 3rd down stop. I mean, they couldn't stop Allen those first 2 drives, but they have made some adjustments. They've taken notice that that's what Darlington wanted to do, is establish the run. And they've really done a nice job on these last 2 defensive possessions.
Offense staying on the field, so this is 4th down and 1 with the ball at the 46-yard line. Darlington still on their side of the field, and it looks like they may roll the dice and go for it here, but there's going to be a timeout called, and so we're going to do the same thing. 3:11 left here, first half. Darlington leads it 14-7 over the Patriots here at Mount Pisgah Christian School in Johns Creek. We're going to step out for 30 seconds. We'll be back. Any score updates for us, man?
Oh, I've got a few. Rock Mart leads White County 20-7 in the second quarter. One that'll put a feather in your cap, sir. Dawson County's leading Adairsville 21-3. Wow. That's kind of shocking. Cartersville up 28-0 over Maynard Jackson. Calhoun up 20-7 over Lithia Springs. And Rome is leading Habersham Central 14-7.
All right, the Tigers have decided to punt the football away. They're up 14-7. Have the ball at their own 46 and will not roll the dice here on this 4th and 1.
Yes, they will.
Oh, they are. It's going to be a fake, and running the ball is going to be Harrison Allen. He stays up, gets down to the 41-yard line, and they're able to convert.
A little trickeration there with a fake punt. They thought about going for it. They were going to punt it away, let their defense go out there and set the tone, but instead a direct snap there to Harrison Allen. Just a great call, well executed, and that keeps this drive alive. You didn't want to go 3 and out and give the ball back to Mount Pisgah after that drive that allowed them to get back in the game. You really want to try to close out with a score and have the momentum going into the locker room. What a huge play. Nice roll of the dice there by Ethan and his staff.
Absolutely. The Darlington Tigers came here to do one thing tonight, and that's win this football game, and they're going to throw the kitchen sink at them to try to get the W. Snap to Shelley, rolls to his right, looking to put the ball in the air. He's got company, will tuck and run, and he is able to find some green grass, almost picks up a first down. He may have got it on that first down play.
It looks like he spotted just short, but he was close. And, he made his checks and scrambled and made something happen there. It's going to be a 2nd and 1 at the 34-yard line.
So after the fake punt and run from Harrison Allen, they move the chains and come up with a big play for a chunk of 9 yards there on the next play from Patrick Shelley, making something basically out of nothing there on that play.
The scoreboard says both teams have 3 timeouts, but the Tigers just spent one. But still, you got a lot of time, minute 49, and at least 2 timeouts in your pocket.
Shotgun formation, 4 wide set. Darlington with the ball on the 35 on the Patriots side of the field. Quarterback Shelley's going to run, and he's going to be inside the 30. Looks like they'll probably spot that right at the 30 or maybe the 29.
And now Darlington's got to play with a little more tempo. They did stop the clock to move the chains, so 1 minute and 34 left. Darlington is down to 2 timeouts. Clock is running.
4 wide set, 2 on each side. Shelley takes the snap. He's going to pitch it to Allen on the right side. Created some room there on the pitch, and he's able to pick up about 5 yards.
Yeah, and Shelley keeping it a couple of times on that pitch has made that successful again because the Patriots have really done a good job shutting that pitch play down. But now that they're having to fear Shelley cutting back to the inside, that's allowed Allen a little more room on that play.
Brings up 2nd down and 6 here for the Tigers with the ball on the 25. Dropping back is quarterback Shelley. He's going to hit Thomas Speed, who stays up, breaks a couple of tackles, and he gets down. The ball comes loose, and it was picked up by the Patriots.
Yeah, they actually just stripped that thing. I don't even think it hit the ground. Let's see on the replay. Just a screen there. Thomas Speed had some room. And the defender, it was number 2. Yeah, he stripped it. It never hit the ground. So it was Nick Sparrows who came in from behind and just ripped it cleanly away from Speed. And that's the first turnover of the game for Darlington. And it comes at a terrible time. 48 seconds on the clock. They were threatening to score. Now the defense has to hold on so that they can get to the locker room with a lead.
So Sparrows picks the ball off on a forced turnover. Man goes in motion. Quarterback Coleman Smith's going to throw the ball from the 16-yard line to a man and incomplete to number 4, Cole Spence.
And he really hasn't looked very sharp in his downfield passing game. Everything he's completed has been very short, just quick little hitch routes and screens. He's been real inaccurate when rolling out, but the Tigers' pressure has forced that for him to have time to get a receiver open.
43 seconds left here in the opening half. Darlington on top, 14-7. We got a 1-score ball game as we get ready to go to the locker room. And so Darlington's defense out on the field trying to get a stop and maintain the lead as they get ready for halftime. Shotgun formation. Smith's got the ball in his hands, puts it in the air, connects with a wide-open wide receiver, Gabe Carter, and he's able to pick up a good chunk of yards, bringing up 3rd down.
And at this point, Matt, if you're the Darlington defense, you want to play soft coverage, keep them in front of you, don't give up the big play. They've got a long way to go, and they don't have much time left on the clock. They have all 3 of their timeouts, but it is 3rd and 1 here, so if they could get a stop, you might see Darlington use a timeout and maybe get the ball back, see if they can get in Sumner's field goal range.
So the Patriots trailing the Tigers 14-7 here on their home field in this first half. 38 seconds to work with remaining in the half. They're going to send a couple of wide to the far side, one to the near. Coleman Smith with one running back in the backfield. They're going to give to him. That is number 34, Joey Chain, and they're able to pick up the 1st down.
And they're going to take their first timeout, Matt.
So with 32 seconds on the clock, the Patriots will spin a timeout. And we are actually going to keep it here because we are almost to halftime. And pretty interesting first half so far. Darlington's had a couple of drives in which they ended up with points. That would be their first drive, which was the 2nd drive of the game, as a 3-and-out from Pisgah Christian. And then Darlington would score an 11-yard run from Patrick Shelley to go up 7-0 after the PAT was good from Brinson Sumner. Then on the next drive, the ensuing drive, Mount Pisgah Christian would get the ball with 8 minutes left there in that first half. Harrison Allen, after the Patriots picked up a couple of first downs, he would pick off a pass. Darlington would get the ball back, and then after a few first downs and a little bit later, Harrison Allen would score on a 4-yard run to put Darlington up 14-0. The Patriots didn't get on the board until 5 minutes and 33 seconds left. Here in this second quarter, they would pick up a 2-yard run into the end zone from the quarterback Coleman Smith, and that closed the gap to a score. So it's 14-7 where we are right now with 32 seconds left in the half.
Yeah, and after a flawless first quarter, Darlington has just had a few mental errors here with penalties and a turnover that have allowed Mount Pisgah to climb back into this game.
Shotgun formation with 3 wide on the far side, 1 on the near side here for the Patriots. Dropping back is Coleman Smith. He's got company in the backfield. Stays on his feet, and he's pushed out of bounds by Davis Watson. And so that's going to bring up 2nd down.
Yeah, Darlington's doing exactly what they need to do here. Great coverage downfield. Again, keeping these Patriot receivers in front of them and preventing the home run play. And if they can tackle them within the boundary, then that's going to keep the clock running and force them to use their timeout. So nice execution here by Darlington. You want to get to the half with this 14-7 lead intact.
Indeed, and that took 7 seconds off the clock, so we're now down to the final 25 ticks here in this first half. 3 wide receivers on the far side, 1 on the near here for this 2nd and 8 from the Patriots 30. And the ball's put in the air quickly. It's incomplete over on the sidelines.
That stops the clock with 20 seconds left in the half. Matt, I just saw, that optimism you had around Georgia Tech basketball. They're trailing Mercer by 14 points right now early.
Of course, lost earlier in the week in a 4-overtime game to Georgia State. And I've heard a lot of people saying that this should be Pastner's best group. I think one of the issues their basketball team has this year is they lost James Bank, and so they're a little bit thin in terms of rim protectors and things of that nature. Got some good guards, but not off to a good start. Shotgun formation, 2 wide on the far side, 1 on the near. Coleman Smith getting ready to take the snap as a man goes in motion towards the far side, and there is a flag.
False start. It was Aaron Cruz who came out of his stance a little bit early. That'll back up the Patriots 5 yards. That's only their 2nd penalty of the half. They had a kickoff go out of bounds, so that's really their first miscue as far as the Hankies are concerned. But it comes at a bad time with 17 seconds left, and it backs them up to 3rd and 13.
And then they just had to put a few seconds back on the clock. It had rolled down to 13. They put 4 seconds back on, so there's 17 seconds left in the first half with Darlington leading at 14-7, trying to get a stop here and maintain their lead going to the locker room at half.
And it'll be interesting to see what they dial up here. You wouldn't think they would press too hard. They don't want to have a turnover.
Coleman Smith ready to take the snap as a man goes in motion. Now you're going to have 3 wide on the far side. He's rolling out to that side. That's his left, and he's going to put the ball in there. It's incomplete. Good coverage by the Tigers.
And I tell you what, we'll see how Tommy Atha approaches this, but they stopped the clock. Darlington still has 2 timeouts. It's 4th and 13. They're going to have to kick from inside their own 20. You could set yourself up with at least a shot at a Hail Mary here, and you got a backup quarterback by the name of Jack Payne who can come in and sling the rock. He can get it to the end zone.
Oh, he's got a live arm. There's no question about that. So we're getting ready for the punt from Owen Lindsay, and we're going to have a timeout here on the field. But again, with 10 seconds left here in the first half, we're just going to keep it right here.
And I'd imagine what's being discussed here, we've seen a couple of Patriot punts that have been short and bounced. If that happens, the clock keeps running until that ball is fielded by the kicking team to be blown dead. So they need to move their return guys up, try to field this thing in the air if they're going to have a crack at a Hail Mary. I don't think there's enough time for them to run but one play once they get it back. So,
well, stay tuned at halftime. We'll give you an update on statistics courtesy of our buddy Stacey Norton, who's really helped us out with that throughout the season. So that's coming up at halftime. We'll also relay scores from other games involving Rome and Northwest Georgia football teams, and we'll check on that Prince Avenue Christian, Hebron Christian game, because the winner of this game will go on next week and play the winner of that one. So punting it away is going to be Owen Lindsay.
And indeed they are playing a lot shorter on the return. Luke McDermott and Patrick Shelley.
And here comes the kick. It is on the way. A nice spiraling kick that's going to drop and bounce and roll out of bounds at 34.
And they went for pressure that time and try to block the kick. They dialed that up. Weren't able to get home, but the kick went out of bounds. I don't know if they've got quite enough arm to throw it 65 yards. So we may see the Tigers just take a knee and head to the locker room, which isn't really a locker room, Matt. It's a lovely tent.
So the ball is going to be at the 35-yard line, and Patrick Shelley in at quarterback. I'm with you. I think they will just take a knee and take a 14-7 lead into the locker room, and the Tigers are going to get the ball to start the second half.
Yes, they are.
So they will line up with everybody in tight as they get ready, and the flag comes in.
12 men on the field.
Flag on the field.
We heard the buzzer, but they'll add that 2 back onto the clock.
I don't think the 5 yards you get out of that penalty is going to encourage Darlington to do anything other than take the knee. But it'll count towards that penalty tally nonetheless.
Indeed. So the official will march off the penalty yards here in just a moment, and we will get lined up for the final 2 seconds of the first half of play. and will be lined up at the 40 after that 5-yard penalty, as you had mentioned. So the Tigers will line up in the same formation. Everybody in tight, take a knee, and we will watch the last 2 seconds roll off the clock. And at the end of the first half, the Darlington Tigers 14, Mount Pisgah Christian Patriots 7. That's your halftime score.
Exciting half of football. Great start for the Tigers. Hit a rough patch there in the second quarter, but didn't let it turn into a disaster. And they can go back, regroup. They get the ball to start the second half. 7 points up on the road in the first round of the playoffs.
Well, we're going to take a deep breath and kind of get everything together, but we'll have some statistics for you coming up here in a few minutes. Also, we'll relay some scores from other games involving Rome and Northwest Georgia football teams when we come back. But you're listening to Darlington Tigers football here tonight on WLAQ and also the Darlington School video feed. Super glad you're with us. As you pointed out at the beginning of the game, couldn't agree with you more. No place we'd rather be tonight than here, watching the Darlington Tigers in the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely, Matt. It's going to be a heck of a second half.
Darlington leads at 14-7 at halftime. We'll send it back to the studio, and we'll be back for more after these messages.
Now welcome to the field, the Mount Pisgah drum line. Along with the varsity cheerleaders.
RiversideAutoGroup.com, the hassle-free way to buy. Visit the all-new Riverside Chevrolet Buick GMC or Toyota in Rome or Riverside Buick GMC.
Time for the Patriot cheerleaders and green line.
At Darlington, we find our confidence in discovering who we are.
In the classroom.
And on stage.
The opportunities are endless.
Our creativity knows no bounds as we take risks.
Explore opportunities.
And stretch our minds.
Together with our teachers.
We use what we've learned to create beauty, to tell stories,
To inspire.
We discover new passions.
while allowing existing ones to flourish. We know that we can do anything,
Be anything.
achieve anything.
We give our time to something greater than ourselves.
Whether we're sketching,
Singing, writing,
Or acting, we find new ways to express ourselves.
And share our talents with the world.
we know that our ideas and contributions matter.
And we take great pride in that.
because today,
Because today,
Because today,
because today,
Because today,
All
tomorrow,
right, folks, we are
forever.
live
We're
again
Darlington
from
Tigers.
Johns Creek, Georgia. It's near Alpharetta. If you've never been over in this neck of woods before, but we're at the Mount Pisgah, I should say, Christian School Athletic Campus here, which is actually about a mile east of the campus of the school, and just a really, really nice facility and campus that they have here for their athletics.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, really nice stadium. It's been a fun environment so far tonight, and we're set up for a great second half. Coming up here in just a few minutes, we've got 14 more minutes and then a 3-minute warm-up period.
The mandatory warm-up period.
That's right. That's right. Matt, do you want to hear some scores
I
from
do.
around the area?
I definitely do. What you got, man?
All right, I've got. We'll start at Barron Stadium, where Rome got off to a fast start. E.J. Lackey on the first play from scrimmage went 70 yards for a touchdown.
Wow.
Habersham County or Central was able to tie it up, but Rome has scored 14 unanswered. They lead 21-7 in the second quarter. Rockmart, White County, a game that you thought might be closer than most people thought. Right now, Rockmart is in control, 27-7 at the Rock, playing at home in front of their crowd. I reported this earlier. You picked Dawson County to beat Adairsville on the road. They were up 21-3, but the Tigers are fighting back. They've trimmed that lead to 4. That's now 21-17 Dawson County. So that was one we'll keep an eye on. Cartersville, commanding lead, 35-0 over Maynard Jackson. No surprise there. I'm sure Carlos Del Rio's having himself a night as well. Calhoun was tied with Lithia Springs at the end of the first quarter. They're now up 26-14. It was 7-7 at the end of the first quarter. And that's all I've got for you right now, Matt, but I know you had the score on a game that we're following as far as who the winner of this game will face next week.
Absolutely. Tonight, Hebron Christian is playing over in Bogart, Georgia, which is over near Athens, facing off against Prince Avenue Christian, the Wolverines. And right now, the Wolverines, as expected, on top, 21-7. That game is in the second quarter, so they've got to be nearing halftime if it's not halftime already.
I've got 2 updates to the scores I just gave you. Updated my browser, and Lithia Springs is only down 26-21 to Calhoun. And White County has scored to trim that lead to 27-14.
Very interesting. So some interesting action taking place tonight here in the first round of the playoffs around the state of Georgia. Make sure you tune in after tonight's game for the Rome Orthopedic Center High School Football Scoreboard Show on WLAQ. And if you happen to be watching the video, just to let you know where you can find that. You can find it on the radio dial if you're in the Rome and surrounding area on 96.9 FM, 1410 AM, or you can listen to the stream at WLAQ1410.com anywhere in the world.
And it's the Rome Orthopedic High School Football Scoreboard Show Playoff Edition.
That is right.
So Lynn and Randy are going to be fired up tonight.
They are, and it's going to be interesting because, as we pointed out to you earlier, AA schools and 4A schools are playing on Saturday. Well, in the Rome area, several of the teams that we would be talking about on the scoreboard show tonight, they're in AA, playing out of 7AA. So they'll tell you about those games and the game times and things of that nature, and look at the brackets. And we'll have some scores to relay, but in some respects, it's going to be kind of a thin night in terms of scores.
And maybe if some of the listeners call in and offer to buy them pizza, maybe they'll come back tomorrow. Who knows? They could beg.
Hey, maybe you and I should go out there and have a Saturday night show. But, again, this is Darlington football here on WLAQ and also the Darlington School video stream. We are standing on top of the press box, which I love that as a vantage point. It's really fun to watch the plays develop when you're this high up over the field. And the other thing that's neat, when you turn around here on the press box, you get a nice view of the Atlanta skyline off to our right. And if you look to the left, you can see the Christmas tree that is atop Stone Mountain. And so just a really, really great backdrop here from Mount Pisgah Christian School and their athletic campus.
Yeah, this athletic campus is impressive, man. It really is a nice facility. And we're just really happy to be here with the Darlington video team. Our boys, Dave and Joey, are doing a great job showing you guys the vantage point that we have here on top of the press box.
Indeed, they always do a tremendous job, and it seems like every week they're adding more to their elaborate setup that they have, which is pretty unbelievable. If you ask me, we definitely are a little bit more simple in terms of our setup. We just hand them a plug and then we go.
Yeah, we'll let them do the genius work, and we'll just sit here and run our mouths, right, Matt?
Yeah, just enjoy the football game. So anyway, glad you're with us. Before we take a break, we do want to take a moment here to thank our sponsors, our radio sponsors, for making it possible for us to be here tonight for you to provide commentary. But Floyd Medical Center, Honeymoon Bakery will have the icing on the cake player of the game at the end of the game. And, of course, we had our Thanksgiving celebration over at my folks yesterday and really enjoyed the pumpkin pie. That's a tradition.
Nice.
They've got a good one. They had a little bit different of one put together this year, but it had some whipped cream on top, and it was just fantastic. So really enjoyed that. But also want to thank Riverside Auto Group, Avery Drugs, Rome Orthopedic Center, Ware Mechanical, Jower Scalar Insurance. And here at halftime, Darlington on top, 14-7 over Mount Pisgah Christian, the Patriots. And when we come back out of the break, we're going to run down some statistics. Just heard from Stacey Norton. We've got those lined up for you, so we'll give you that in a few minutes. And then we'll also talk a little bit more about both of these teams here tonight. I want to give you some interesting information that I found out earlier today about Mike Forrester, who is the head football coach here for the Mount Pisgah Christian Patriots. And if you're a football history buff, you're going to enjoy that segment. So that'll be coming up here in just a little bit. But we're going to send it back to the studio for a few minutes. Again, Darlington 14, Mount Pisgah Christian 7. We're at halftime. We got about 8 minutes and a half until the halftime period expires. So we'll step out for a few minutes and come back with more commentary at halftime. So we'll be back. Yep, welcome back to Johns Creek, Georgia. We're at the PAC, the Patriot Athletic Campus here, home of the Mount Pisgah Christian Patriots. And right now, your Darlington Tigers on top at halftime. 14-7 is your halftime score. Going to give you some statistics in a couple of moments, but first we'll give you an update on the Prince Avenue Christian, Hebron Christian game. And Prince Avenue on top, 28-14. So we've had a scoring change there, and that game's got to be at halftime by now.
Yeah, you would think so. It's going to be a tough challenge for whoever emerges victorious from this matchup, but we'll see. We're hoping it's going to be the Darlington Tigers.
Oh, no question about it. And if it ends up being Prince Avenue Christian, Darlington was there just a few years ago in the quarterfinals, had the opportunity to go down there, and young man Brock Vandergrift, the quarterback of Prince Avenue Christian, he was a freshman that year, so they had another starting quarterback that played that night. But it'll be interesting if that ends up being the team that Darlington faces if they win this game, to get a look at him, because he is a big-time recruit going to Georgia, and he could be the future of the Bulldogs at that quarterback position.
Yeah, you know, Bulldog fans are dying for a quarterback right now. It's funny. JT Daniels made his debut, and it was a really good debut against Mississippi State last week. But then I was flipping through my sports feed, and somebody was saying he was possibly going to go into the draft after this season. So they're going to be right back at square one looking for a signal caller perhaps. And Brock Vandergrift has got a lot of hype behind him. We'll see if he can back that up. It'd be great to catch him next week. You know what would be even better? Is if the Tigers went there and upset them.
Oh, no question about it. And to your point on the quarterback situation, I know there are a lot of harsh critics of coaching staffs when things like that happen. I know a lot of Georgia fans wish that Justin Fields were still there, but when you look at the transfer portal situation and the decisions that players can make in this era of football, that really changes a lot of things that coaches have to deal with. I do not envy that position whatsoever. That definitely makes it more difficult in some respects.
No, not at all. And that's a rabbit hole we could go a long way down, but Georgia was in good shape when Justin Fields left. So you can play the what-if game all you want. Georgia will get a guy in there that can get the job done eventually.
Oh, I agree with you 100%. Well, here are some statistics from our game tonight. We'll just go over Darlington's statistics. Harrison Allen had a big first half. He would have 15 carries for 93 yards and a touchdown. And then Patrick Shelley, he would have 6 carries for 53 yards and a touchdown. 3 carries for -4 yards for Thomas Bethel. Passing, Patrick Shelley was 2 of 2 for 23 yards. In terms of the defense for the Darlington Tigers, Darius Smith would have 1 tackle. Harrison Allen would have 1, as well as an interception. Joe Marion had 5 tackles there in that first half. Patrick Shelley with 3, Thomas Speed with 1. You would have 2 tackles for Davis Watson, and then you would have a sack as well for the Darlington Tigers and Gatlin Hancock. So a big game there defensively for a lot of guys for the Tigers, getting in there and swarming the football and making some plays. So where we are right now, your score at halftime, 14-7, Darlington on top.
Yeah, and look, Matt, the Tigers got off to a hot start. We haven't seen that very often this year, but they deferred to the second half, kicked the ball off, let their defense set the tone. That's one thing we've seen a lot of when they've won the toss. And they got that 3 and out. Offense took the ball, marches 65 yards for a score. They come back out. Harrison Allen gets the interception after the Patriots had picked up a couple of first downs. They cashed in on the turnover. They got points off the turnover and went up 14-0. After that, a couple of really bad penalties on one drive. You had a late hit on the quarterback, and then you had a targeting that really wasn't a bad penalty. It was an effort foul. It was the right call. Unfortunate for the Tigers, but the Patriots were able to take advantage of that, and they scored. Now, the Tigers were going to answer and turn the ball over, but what they did that's positive out of that is they didn't allow any points off of that turnover. They were able to stop the Patriots and get to the locker room with a lead. So it's going to be great to see what they do coming out in the second half. We'll see what adjustments the coaching staff's made. We already saw some really nice adjustments. The Patriots defense did a much better job against the running game in the second quarter, and you've seen Darlington adjust the way they're bringing pressure on the quarterback.
Well, Ian, let's run down the scoring there from the first half of play as we're about to be at the mandatory warm-up period, so we'll just keep it right here. But opening up the game on offense was the home team tonight. Of course, Mount Pisgah Christian, and they would go 3 and out on their first drive. On the ensuing drive from Darlington, they would get the ball on their own 30, pick up a few first downs. They would score on an 11-yard run from Patrick Shelley to go up 7-0 after the PAT was good from Brinson Sumner. Glad to have him back in the lineup tonight because he's just done a tremendous job in terms of kickoffs and then also extra points. Then on the next drive of the game for, of course, Mount Pisgah Christian, they would get the ball with 8 minutes left in that first quarter, pick up a couple of first downs. They were moving the ball a little bit, but then they would throw an interception that was picked off by Harrison Allen on the ensuing drive from the Darlington Tigers, which began with 4:55 left in the first quarter and starting at the Darlington 46. Darlington picked up a few first downs, and then Harrison Allen would cap off that drive with a 4-yard run for a touchdown. Extra point was good. Darlington was up 14-0. Then Mount Pisgah would get the ball with 17 seconds left to go in the first quarter. That drive would carry over into the second quarter. They would end up going 3 and out. Then Darlington would get the ball with 11:33 left in the first half. They would go 3 and out. Mount Perrin got the ball back with 9:27 left to go in the first half. Picked up a few first downs, and then on a 2-yard run from the quarterback, Coleman Smith, they would score for the first time of the game to cut it to a score 14-7 with 5:33 left to go in the first half. And then basically that's where the score remains right now, 14-7. We've got a couple of minutes until we start the second half.
And again, Darlington had a scoring opportunity there late in the first half. They faked a punt on 4th and 1. Harrison Allen was able to pick that up. Then Patrick Shelley made a really nice run. They were down around the 25-yard line, hit a wide receiver screen to Thomas Speed, and the ball was stripped as he was trying to fight for extra yards. So they weren't able to cash in on that opportunity. But again, they didn't allow the Patriots to go down and tie the ball game before the half, and now they get possession to start. This first drive, they need to set the tone. Obviously, Matt, they were leaning on the running game, and it was working. I mean, they couldn't stop it in the first quarter, but the Patriots made some adjustments. So you'd think that we might see a little more of a mix of pass and run here to start this half.
Indeed, and I do want to go ahead and tell you a little bit about the coaching staff here at Mount Pisgah Christian, the Patriots. I was telling you earlier, Mike Forster has a pretty interesting background. First of all, he's a great coach. He's done a tremendous job since he has been at the helm of this football team. He's 52-36, 59% win percentage, and he has led his team to the state playoffs 6 of 8 seasons, and football runs in the family. Mike's dad, the late Bill Forrester, played several defensive positions for the Green Bay Packers from 1953 to 1963. He was selected to 4 Pro Bowls and was selected to the Packers Hall of Fame back in 1974. He also played his college football at SMU, where he was elected to their Hall of Fame back in 2015. So that happened posthumously, and Mike, he ended up going and accepting that award for his dad. But when Mike's dad, Bill Forster, was playing for the Packers, he played for 4 different coaches during that time, and he was a part of Vince Lombardi's first 2 championships in 1961 and 1962. So all you football history buffs, I'm sure, enjoyed that little piece of knowledge there on the coaching staff.
Lineage there is impressive, no doubt about it. So football is in his blood.
Indeed. Just kind of stumbled upon that, doing a little bit of research for the game today, and was really happy to find that nugget to share with you tonight here on the broadcast. Well, guess what? 12 minutes on the clock. We're about to start the third quarter.
Yes, sir.
And both teams trying to extend their seasons. One team here tonight, their season's going to end. And, of course, you know, as Darlington Tiger fans, we're hoping the Tigers are going to be able to carry on to another game coming up next week. Whole half to go. Let's see what happens. We got a 1-score football game.
And Darlington is back to receive. Luke McDermott deep. We've seen that this place kicker has struggled a bit to get the ball deep. So as Owen Lindsay lines up to kick this one off, we'll see if the Tigers get an opportunity for a return.
There's the kickoff, and it is going to be fielded by McDermott, who's going to bring it out. He runs up the middle of the field and is able to get it out to around the 26.
Nice high kick there by Owen, and McDermott kind of overran that and had to put the brakes on to catch it. So he stopped his momentum before he could really get going, but 27-yard line is not too bad of a starting spot for this Tigers offense, and we'll see how they decide to attack things, if they want to come back out and see if they can establish the run again and find that success that they had in the first quarter, or if they're going to open it up and air it out a little bit.
Going to send a wide receiver far to the man went in motion. Wide receiver to the near side as well. Shelley takes the snap. He's going to run the football and stays up and gets about 6 yards on that first down.
Yeah, nice run there. Ended up getting a couple of extra there too, Matt. I think he picked up closer to 8. And that was a quarterback sweep. It picked up 7. And he was able to cut that back in and pick up some tough yards. Shelley's done a really good job finding those creases in the defense tonight.
Absolutely. You knew that for Darlington to be successful in this football game that Patrick Shelley would have to make some plays with his feet, and that's one of the things you always expect to happen. He's a very athletic kid.
Yeah, whether designed or if he's just breaking down and scrambling, he does a good job with that.
Wide receiver to the far side. They're going to hand it off and run a sweep to the right side to Harrison Allen. He gets the yards and then some that he needed for the first down, so Darlington on the move.
Absolutely. 2 downs. They picked up about 14 yards on those 2 plays. And now you get into that rhythm once you get that first down.
Again, we are at the PAC, which is the Patriot Athletic Campus, which is about a mile from the main campus of the school here at Mount Pisgah Christian. Shotgun formation, trips to the near side. They're going to pitch to Allen, finds a little green grass, stays up. He is down to the 50. Nice block and a stiff arm. A flag comes in. Allen went out of bounds at around the 45. What do you think the call is?
Yeah, you're going to get unnecessary. It's either going to be a low blow. It's a hold, yeah. And it was away from the play. Should be a spot foul, so it's not going to be a total disaster here, but it's definitely going to negate a really nice run there by Harrison Allen.
Holding on, Darlington will back them up.
10:32 left here in the third quarter. Darlington with the lead, 14-7, looking to add to it here on the first drive of the second half.
And let's see where they march this off from.
Officials having a little bit of a meeting of the minds discussing.
Yeah, it'll be 10 yards that they'll march off from the 46-yard line. So that should set up a first down and 6 when the dust clears. But a real nice move there by Harrison Allen. Well, never mind.
It's going to be at the 44-yard line.
Yeah.
So the Tigers will get ready to go back to the line of scrimmage.
1st and 7. Don't get to say that too often.
No, you really don't.
Holding on the Tigers makes it 1st and 7.
2 wide receivers to the far side. You've got Thomas Speed and Bethel is lined up in the slot. And here to the near side, it's Gabe Simpkins. And the backfield is going to be Harrison Allen. And it looks like Coach Eighth is coming out to talk to the officials a little bit.
There's been some colorful conversation there on the sidelines. We'll see if that what that results. A little explanation from the head official is what Coach Eighth wanted.
Those of you listening back at home or watching the video feed, just want to say that I hope you had a very happy Thanksgiving as we kick off this holiday season. What a wonderful time of the year it is, and I know that people are really looking forward to some holiday cheer.
Absolutely. And a Tiger win would certainly make a happier holiday, wouldn't it, Matt?
Indeed. Shotgun formation for 1st and 7. Shelley rolls to his right, puts it in the air. Can't quite get his arms around it to Thomas Speed. An incomplete pass setting up second down.
It was a bullet from Shelley, and it just slipped off of Speed's fingers there. He was open, just couldn't reel it in.
So the Tigers will go back to the drawing board. They're going to keep Thomas Speed and Bethel out there on this set as wide receivers on the far side. Also lining up in there with them is going to be McKay Rush. 2 wide receivers on the near side, so it'll be an empty backfield as a man goes in motion for the Tigers. Shelley takes the snap, a quick pass here to the near side to Gabe Simpkins, and they pick up about 5 yards on the play.
And I think we only had 2 pass attempts in the first half total. and we've seen 2 on the last 2 plays. So that question we were asking about, will they mix it up a little bit with the run pass? I think that's a yes, Matt.
I think you're right. It is confirmed. Ball is now on the 49-yard line, just shy of the center of the field. Tigers with a 3rd down and 2 coming up, looking for a conversion here to extend this drive.
This would be a big pickup for the Tigers to keep it going, and the Patriots crowd is making some noise to try to make that not happen.
Some motion here from the Tigers offense. Shelley's got Allen in the backfield. There's the snap. They're going to pitch right to Allen. Tries to get out to the edge. He does, and picks up the 1st down and a couple extra yards to boot.
Yeah, the Patriots defense brought both middle linebackers right up the gut on a blitz, and the Tigers went outside, and Harrison Allen still had to make a really nice cut to get the yardage needed to convert that 3rd down, but a big pickup. Darlington was 1 for 3 on 3rd downs in the first half, so they've started 1 for 1 in the second, and they keep this drive alive.
We'll have the Iron Bowl for you tomorrow on WLAQ. Tell you more details on that broadcast in a few moments. Empty backfield for Patrick Shelley. 3 wide on the near side, 2 on the far side. They're going towards the far side, connect with a wide receiver, and that's Thomas Speed. He's able to grab it and get the 1st down, and they move the chains.
Absolutely, and Thomas Speed needed that play. He hated the fumble that he lost in the first half, and then he wasn't able to reel in that pass a few minutes ago. He's such a great player for this team, and that time he's able to take the screen and pick up another 1st down, and now the Tigers are really rolling.
Yeah, the Tigers, obviously, offensive coordinator and Coach Tommy Atha, they know what a reliable guy he is, so you knew they'd go back to him. Shotgun formation. Here's the snap with 1st and 10. Pump fakes, puts it in the air, and he's going to connect with his wide receiver, diving towards the pylon. That is Thomas Speed, and I think he's going to be a little short.
Yeah, they're going to rule him down, but I love that play call. They've been running these little screens all night long. That time Speed stopped. Shelley pump faked, and then Speed took off, got behind the defense, but he had to make a really nice over-the-shoulder grab, and I think that's the right call there. The knee was down at the 1 before the ball crossed the goal line, and the Tigers are in business.
Shelley under center at the 1. He's going to dive and sneaks right into the end zone, 1-yard plunge into the end zone there for the Tigers, and now they increase their lead to 2 scores.
Well, Shelley caps that off with his 2nd touchdown run of the night. But 2 plays in a row to Thomas Speed put that ball on the 1-inch line for the Tigers to punch that in. And what a big-time opening drive. They've extended the lead back to 13 points. It'll be 14 if Sumner can hit his 3rd PAT of the night.
That was a big-time drive to open up this second half. And let's see if Sumner can punch this thing through, as you mentioned, and make this a 21-7 football game. Right now the scoreboard shows 20-7, 8:13 left here in the 3rd quarter. And if you're the Darlington Tigers, that's exactly what you wanted to see happen to open the second half. There's the kick, and that one is going to be through the uprights, and 21-7 is your score.
And Matt, that drive went 73 yards, and we saw 4 pass attempts. There were only 2 in the first half. Shelley was able to connect on 3, 1 to Gabe Simpkins, 2 to Thomas Speed, 1 for about, it was a 30-plus yard throw that Speed pulled in over his shoulder inside the 10. He almost made it to the end zone, but his knee hit before the ball was across the goal line. Shelley finished it off, and the Tigers have extended their lead to 14 points.
Coach Atha and his staff certainly know how to coach a football team. Coach Atha has 156 wins to 62 losses, a 71.6% win percentage. And one of the things that we talked about in our pregame was how excited the guys were to have the opportunity to be practicing on Thanksgiving. Of course, did their walkthrough yesterday. And that's something that is expected when you're a Darlington Tiger. When you get ready to start the season, everybody's made that commitment, and they expect to get to that point of the season. Of course, this year's a little bit different because this is the first round, but Darlington's practiced a lot on Thanksgiving over the years, no question about it. So we get ready for Brinson Sumner to kick this one away, and kick is on the way. It's going to be pretty deep. Will drop at about the 4, takes a bounce. They're going to field it and bring it out. I think that the return man thought it was going to bounce in the end zone, had to field it. That's Garrett Sutherland, and they're going to have average field position.
That one had a little English on it and hit and bounced backwards. and a good job by the Patriots to have the wherewithal to catch that and advance it. That could have been disastrous. We've seen the Tigers recover an onside kick this year. It wasn't an onside kick. We've seen them recover a kickoff that was very similar to that. So Patriots set up at their own 20 to start this drive.
Patriots working left to right. They'll send 3 wide receivers to the far side, 1 on the near side. Man goes in motion off to the left side. That's Honeycutt. They're going to throw a quick pass here to the right side. It'll be incomplete.
Yeah, that ball from Coleman Smith was well behind the receiver, and Garrett Sutherland could not pull that one in.
So we're down to the 8-minute mark here of the third quarter. If you're just tuning in, Darlington has extended their lead to 2 scores. They're up 21-7 after scoring on the first drive of the second half. Patriots will send a couple of wide to the far side, 1 on the near side. In the backfield is Honeycutt with the quarterback Coleman Smith here for the second down and 10. Man goes in motion. There's a snap. They're going to pull it and run with the quarterback, and he picks up maybe a couple of yards, but the defense, Darius Smith, gets there and makes the stop. Yeah, and also Tyler Watkins.
Yeah, Tyler Watkins coming off the edge. Good patience there by Watkins as he flew in pre-snap and showed blitz, but he was able to sit back and read the quarterback's read and get in there and help make that tackle. And it's 3rd and long.
Yeah, 3rd and long, down from the 20-yard line. So the Patriots still at the original line of scrimmage where they started this drive. And Coleman Smith's going to line up with Honeycutt in the backfield, and he's going to send 2 wide on each side of the formation. So Smith getting ready to take the snap, and it's in his hands, dropping back into the pocket, looking to throw. Nice hard pass up the middle. He connects and gets the first down throw right into Nick Sparrows. That was a big-time throw.
Yeah, and he had plenty of time to sit in the pocket. For the first time all night, Coleman Smith dropped back and had time to go through his progressions, and he found an open receiver. There's no surprise there. Good job by the Patriots offensive line on that particular play. Big 3rd down pickup for them. They did not want to go 3 and out and kick the ball back to the Tigers.
So now the ball's on the 34-yard line. This drive started on the 20 here for the Patriots. They'll go back to the line of scrimmage. Now split wide to the far side is Garrett Sutherland. He is one of the preferred targets of Coleman Smith. This time they're going to go with a run over to Joy Chain, who picks up about 6 or 7.
Yeah, it's just that little toss sweep. And he's a big back, man. He's a tough guy to bring down. We haven't seen him get the rock too often, but he advanced that one for an 8-yard gain.
Sutherland split far to the far side. There's the snap to Smith. A quick pitch to the inside. They go back with Chain, and he is going to be out of bounds, but with a first down.
Yeah, same play and same result. He picked up another 8 yards, and that time a first down right at the 50-yard line as the Patriots are going to attempt to fight back and see if they can get that 7 points back that they gave up to the Tigers on their opening drive.
So 2 carries on pitch plays to Joy Chain, and they move the chains. So the ball is right at the 50-yard line with a first down for the Patriots. Patriots playing your Darlington Tigers tonight here in Johns Creek at the home of the Mount Pisgah Christian School Patriots. Darlington up 21-7 with 6:18 left, third quarter. 1 wide receiver off to the far side. There's the snap. Coleman Smith with the ball in his hands is going to put it in the air, and this one's going to be thrown out of bounds over the Patriots sidelines.
Yeah, that one never had a chance. Pocket held up, but he had to get rid of it when one of the Tiger D linemen came clean and just threw that one out of bounds.
So we're down to the 6:11 mark here of the third quarter. When we started the second half, it was 57 degrees here in Johns Creek. Overcast skies. Feels fantastic out here.
Yeah, there's no wind, so it's really, really pleasant tonight.
2 wide receivers on the far side, 1 on the near. There's the snap on 2nd and 10. They're going to give the ball to Sparrows, who picks up 3 or 4 yards on that second down play.
Yeah, a little trap play there. Mildly successful, 3 yards. And it'll be 3rd and 7. Last third down, the Patriots picked up their 3 for 5 on third downs tonight. We'll see if last third down, Darlington opted to just rush 4. We'll see if they decide to bring a little pressure this time.
So the Patriots will line up here on 3rd and 7 with the ball on the Darlington 47. 3 wide receiver set, 2 on the near, 1 on the far side. And here goes the snap. Smith's going to throw a quick pass. He's able to connect with Sparrows, and they pick up a first down.
Yeah, nice read there by Smith. He saw the pressure was coming, and he took his first read because it was open, and Sparrows was able to pick up a first down. So they've had 3rd and 10 and 3rd and 7 on this drive. Both times it's been Smith to Sparrows, and they've been able to convert. They are now 4 of 6 on 3rd downs for the night.
Sparrows came into the game, Ian, with 78 catches for 1,105 yards and 7 touchdowns. He's one of the leaders in the state. 3 wide on the far side, 1 on the near here for the Patriots, trailing 21-7 to the Darlington Tigers. Man goes in motion. They're going to throw another quick pass, connect with a different wide receiver this time. That was Brad Spence, and he picks up a good chunk of yards. He's going to be short of the first down by about a yard, I think.
Let's see.
Maybe not quite a yard.
Yeah, they're going to move the chains. So they can't make up their mind.
Ball is at the 29-yard line. It looks like he's a little bit short.
The down marker was on 1. Now they're correcting that, so that's good. So 2nd down and a very, very short one.
So the Patriots back to the line of scrimmage with a second and very short, as you pointed out, from the 26. And here comes the snap to Coleman Smith. He's going to throw a ball towards the end zone. The wide receiver looked like he was about to break open. It's going to be thrown over his head. Cole Spence was the intended wide receiver, and that's an incomplete pass. Thank goodness.
Harrison Allen really, really put a good hit on Coleman Smith there. Smith kind of looked at the official like he wanted a late hit, but no way. Allen was there on time. That was just a good, clean, hard hit. And it forced him to get rid of the ball a little bit early. If he has a fraction of a second there, that's a touchdown. So great play by Allen, and we've got 3rd and short. I'm thinking a little Joy Chain here.
We'll see. He's in the backfield with the quarterback Coleman Smith. 2 wide on the near side, 1 on the far side. There's a snap. Quarterback's going to follow Joy Chain.
Sure did.
And he's going to get the first down. So he was involved, not as the ball carrier, but he gave him a nice block.
Yeah, he was in there as the lead blocker. That guy is a bulldozer. I'm surprised we didn't see more of him in the first half. But the Patriots offense, you're seeing a rhythm from them right now that we haven't seen all night. They look like they're really executing at a high level here on their first drive.
Ball on the 23-yard line as the Patriots threaten to get this ball in the red zone. They're going to go empty set here for Coleman Smith on this first down play. Man goes in motion. That's Chain. He's going to get dropped behind the line of scrimmage for a loss. 3 or 4 Tigers swarmed him.
Yeah, and that was number 52, Bryant Powell, who was in on the tackle there. And we're talking about a sophomore, Matt, who has been forced into action. He's playing in Bert Shrimpsher's former position, and he's playing a really good ball game.
Yeah, a couple of guys that won't be, of course, on the field the rest of the season, but they are here. We saw them walking around earlier, I should say, on crutches, unfortunately. Luke Lewis and Bert Shrimpsher are a lot of the reason these guys are in this game tonight, and they are certainly here with their teammates, cheering them on. Here's the snap. Coleman Smith puts the ball in the air, and I thought there was a chance for an interception for Luke McDermott right now. It's a little over his head, but that's an incomplete pass.
Yeah, big-time pressure up the middle there by the Darlington defense. I'm going to see if I can catch who came clean. It was Davis Watson who put a hit on Coleman Smith. He's going to remember the Tigers no matter what happens tonight. Forced him to get rid of the ball a little early. Luke McDermott couldn't quite adjust to make the interception. He was certainly in the area to make that play. But now we've got a 3rd and long, and I expect the Tigers to dial up the pressure again.
So going wide to the far side is going to be Sutherland. You're going to have 4 wide receivers, 1 man in the backfield. And now he's going to run off towards the near side. Coleman Smith with the ball in his hands, going to throw right up the middle of the field. He was wide open. That was Harrison Clark who made that catch, and now they're inside the 5, knocking on the door.
Yeah, and on that particular play, 3rd and long, their third down conversion of this drive. The pressure didn't get home, and Coleman Smith was able to make the read and fire and set them up with a 1st and goal at the 3. So that's 3 3rd and longs, Matt, on this drive. They've converted every one.
This is the Patriots' first drive of the second half. Darlington scored on their first drive. There's the snap. The quarterback's going to run it, a design run right into the end zone. That's a 3-yard run for the quarterback, and now it's a 1-score game.
Sure is, and boy, did the Patriots need to answer Darlington's opening score, and they did. And look, On their first touchdown drive, Matt, Darlington helped them out a lot with penalties. That time, the Patriots earned every bit of it. They converted on third down and long 3 times and were able to punch it in to cut the lead after this extra point down to 7 points.
Absolutely. The kick is good, and that is going to cut it to 21-14. And Darlington will get the ball back here in just a moment. There are 2 minutes and 37 seconds left on the clock here in this third quarter of play. While we've got a little break in the action, let's go ahead and get a check on the Prince Avenue Christian Wolverines, Heban Christian Lions score, because obviously the winner of this football game is going to be playing the winner of that one. And once all these pop-up ads go away, I'll give you an update. The score right now that's on ScoreStream is still showing halftime. Obviously, they're in the third quarter by this point, you would assume. But Prince Avenue Christian was up 28-14 at half, as we had mentioned to you earlier. So we'll be keeping an eye on that one throughout the night in case Darlington can get the victory and go on the second round, so we can let you know who they would play in the second round.
Yeah, and just a couple updates. Calhoun's up 32-21 on Lithia Springs, and Dawson County leads Adairsville 28-24 in the third. So some close ball games. Everybody else is in control.
2 well-coached teams out on the football field tonight. A lot of talented kids out here. This has been fun watching this football game. And here comes the kickoff from the Patriots. Owen Lindsay. It'll be brought out here by Luke McDermott. He tries to cut up the middle of the field, and he's dropped at the 15.
Yeah, we got to give credit where credit is due. Gabe Carter just took a great angle there and was able to gun down Luke McDermott before he could get going. This is the worst starting field position of the night for Darlington as they set up at their own 15 to start this drive. And, man, Matt, they don't have to score here, but I feel like a first down or 2 is a must.
Oh, absolutely. 2:30 left here in your third quarter. Darlington scored to open up the scoring in the second half. Of course, Mount Pisgah Christian, they would answer on the ensuing drive. So right now where we are, Darlington still leads it, but only by 1 score, 21-14. They come back to line of scrimmage with 85 yards to get to pay dirt. Send 2 wide receivers to the near side, 1 on the far side. Shelley in the gun takes the snap, fakes to Allen, and he's going to put it in the air at the middle of the field. Did he grab it before he hit the ground? I believe that's an incomplete pass.
Yeah, they're going to rule it incomplete. It was a low throw and behind Bethel, and I do believe it did hit the ground. We're going to see on the replay if it, I'm not going to be able to tell you on that one, but I think it hit the ground. It looked like he trapped it. So they dial up a pass play on 1st and 10. It is incomplete, and that sets them up with 2nd and 10 from their own 15. Oh, the crowd is getting into it here, Matt. You can feel it.
These moments are what you play for,
man. That's right.
You want to get yourself into that third season. You got your non-region games. You got your region schedule, the games that count towards the playoffs. And then if you're fortunate enough to get through the season with a good enough record, you get in the playoffs, and that's where these 2 teams are in the first round. Quarterback Shelley in a shotgun. He's going to hand it off and run a sweep out to the right side. Harrison Allen with a lot of green grass. He's going to carry 3 guys all the way down to the 37-yard line. That was a big pickup and a first down.
That should put Harrison Allen well over 100 yards there as he picked up 20 yards on that carry, put his foot in the ground, made a beautiful cut, and dragged some defenders out to the 36-yard line.
Here's the snap. They're going to hand off to Allen again. Gets a good block right there and goes out of bounds, but he picked up about 6 or 7 yards. But, Ian, you got to give a ton of credit on that play. I believe it was Caleb Butler. I may want to check that number here in just a minute, but got a good block there for Mr. Allen.
Yeah, absolutely. The offensive line's played really, really well tonight. They've given Shelley time to throw when he has dropped back, and they're creating running room for Harrison Allen and Patrick Shelley. We are going to see Harrison Allen get himself a little breather after picking up around 32 yards on his last 2 carries. And it's going to be Darius Smith that lines up in the backfield with Shelley.
2nd and 3 here for the Tigers. Ball is on the 43-yard line. There's the snap. Tigers working right to left. Darius Smith up the middle, picks up the yards and then some, and they get a first down and move the chains.
Yeah, a couple of big first downs. They're out near midfield. Looks like they might run a little tempo here. getting up to the line as this third quarter winds down close to the 1 minute mark with under 1:20 to go.
So Thomas Speed is going to be lined up on the far side. Here to the near side, you're going to have Gabe Simpkins, also Tyler Watkins, and Thomas Bethel. No, Bethel's going to go up and stand next to Patrick Shelley, the quarterback. And working right to left, here go the Tigers back to work. They're going to give it to Bethel. Nice spin move, but not a lot there. He's got 4 defenders on him, and he's going to take a loss.
At that time, they ran the ball right into the teeth of an all-out blitz. There was nowhere for Bethel to go there. We got an injured Patriot on the field, Matt. Looks like he's holding his arm.
All right, it looks like I was about to take a timeout, but now he's getting up.
Yeah, it's an arm. Oh, he's bleeding. Wow, I can see that from here.
Oh, my goodness. 53 seconds left here in the third quarter. Darlington up 21-14.
Give it up for David Bertrand.
That player is going to come off the field, as you mentioned. Looking at that left arm, it looks like.
Yeah.
I think the red that you're seeing is an armband.
Armband, okay.
I mean, if that was blood, he was about to bleed.
It looked like the way he was holding his arm. It really, I don't know.
You had me about to freak out for a second, and I was like, oh, that's an armband.
Thanks, Matt. It makes me feel better, too.
Thank goodness it was just the armband.
Yeah, I'm with you. A lot of red here at Mount Pisgah.
Indeed. And when you see the MP, of course, Mount Pisgah Christian, I keep feeling like I'm about to say Mount Heron for some reason. 4 wide receivers, pitch over to Harrison Allen on the far side, and he's able to pick up 5 or 6 yards.
Yeah, that was a big pickup there. They were behind the chains after that run was stuffed on the last play, so Allen gets them into third and manageable. And so far tonight, Darlington is 2 of 4 on third downs. They need this one.
Indeed. 3rd down and 6 with the ball on the 47-yard line on the Patriots side of the field. Man comes off the field for the Patriots as Darlington gets lined up and ready for this 3rd down play. They're going to have 3 wide receivers on the near side, 1 on the far side. Shelley takes the snap. He's going to put the ball in the air at the middle of the field. What a catch and what a throw.
Yeah, and you're going to get a pass interference that they don't need.
He threaded the needle to Thomas Speed, and a great play on both accounts.
Hey, and you know what, Matt? You talked about it with Brenton Sumner. This is a team mentality thing. Thomas had some tough plays in the first half. He had a drop. He had that ball stripped from him. He has come back and made some huge plays in the second half. These Tigers shake it off, man. They don't let it bug them. They go to the next play, and they just keep competing. Great catch there by Speed, and that should be a PI that the Tigers decline. Let's see what the head official says. And it is.
And it is. So the Tigers with a golden opportunity here. They've got 1st down and 10 with the ball on the Patriots 31, up 21-14. Sure would be nice to go into the final frame here tonight with a 2-score lead.
And on the last drive for the Patriots, they picked up a few 3rd and longs. This time it's the Tigers' turn. That was an absolute dime and a great catch by Thomas Speed.
So 2 wide receivers on the near side, 1 on the far side. Shelley has him in the gun with Allen in the backfield. He's going to run the football, and he's able to get a nice spin move at the end of that play and picks up about 5 yards, man.
Yeah, boy, those Patriot players were really trying to strip the ball from Shelley. He did a good job of keeping it high and tight and not letting them rip that ball away because there are 3 of them in there just tugging at it. Instead of trying to get him to the ground, they really wanted to get that ball loose.
So that brings up 2nd and 5, but we're going to wait until the final 12 minutes of this football game to get to that down because that was the buzzer ending the 3rd quarter. Darlington up 21-14. We're going to step out for 1 minute here, and we'll get you ready for the final quarter here from Johns Creek, Georgia at Mount Pisgah Christian School. Again, Darlington up 21-14. We'll be back.
Take it down and start the fourth quarter.
All right, we're back for the final 12 minutes of this football game. Darlington with the ball with 2nd down and 5. There's the snap, and Shelley's going to roll to his left, run. Nice stiff arm, and he stays up, maybe picks up a yard or two. So a lot of running, but at the end of everything, not a huge pickup there, but it sets up a 3rd and manageable.
Yeah, another 3rd down that the Tigers desperately need to convert here. Just a good job defending Shelley there. He's got a lot of speed, and the Patriots did not allow him any cutback lanes. He just had to keep taking it to the sideline and take what he could get.
So you're going to have 2 wide here on the near side. That's going to be Bethel and Speed. Also coming out here lining up in the slot will be Tyler Watkins. To the far side is Gabe Simpkins. In the backfield is Allen with Patrick Shelley. As we get ready for this 3rd down and 3 with the ball on the 24. Darlington trying to move the chains and extend this drive. They are up 21-14. There's the snap. Shelley's going to pitch right at the last second to Allen. Goes out of bounds right after picking up the 1st down.
I tell you what, that pitch was a little behind Allen. He had to spin and catch that on his back shoulder. Did a really nice job there to field that pitch and then spin and keep his momentum going forward and pick up a huge 1st down there on 3rd and 3.
Harrison Allen's going to go off to the sidelines and take a breather. Darius Smith is back in. He'll be back there with the quarterback, Patrick Shelley, for this 1st down and 10 with the ball just inside the red zone at the 19. So Darlington up by a score of 21-14, looking to add to it. And they're going to fake the handoff to Smith. Patrick Shelley shakes off a tackle, and another one carries the pile all the way down inside the 10. He's still keeping those legs turning. And that was a strong piece of running right there.
Yeah, and Shelley, Shelley's a heck of an athlete, but he's a skinny guy. You look at him and you don't think he's the kind of guy who would push a pile 5 yards down the field. And he had some help from his friends, but still, very impressive power and drive from the legs of Patrick Shelley.
Indeed. Of course, at the end of tonight, we're going to have the Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game, 1st round of the playoffs edition. Man. And then the Rome Orthopedic Center High School Football Scoreboard Show.
A lot of candidates for that award tonight, man. There are some Tigers that want to eat some sweets.
Indeed. Wide receiver to the near side, split wide. That is Thomas Bethel. Shelley takes the snap. He's going to hand it to Allen, who dives forward and maybe picks up a yard or 2 on that play. But not a whole lot going on there.
Not much. They went to the near sideline on that particular play, and he just ran out of real estate to make a cutback. Good pursuit there by the Patriots defenders. Sets up a 2nd and 7, which it's 2nd and goal from the 7. They've got to get to the end zone from here.
3 wide receivers, 2 on the far side, 1 on the near side. Allen in the backfield with Patrick Shelley. And here comes the snap on 2nd and 7. Shelley rolls to his right, puts it in the air, connects with Thomas Speed in the end zone. Touchdown, Darlington Tigers.
Speed kills, man.
You were waiting on that moment.
Waiting on it. He's had a big game. It's good to see him get to pay dirt there. And what a big touchdown. Shelley fired that one in there, and the sure-handed Thomas Speed was able to hold on to it. And the Tigers have regained their 14-point lead that they've had several times throughout the night. But, boy, this Mount Pisgah team is not quitting, so they need every point they can get if they're going to finish this thing off.
Look, one of these teams' season ends tonight. Neither one of these teams want that to happen. But right now, Darlington in the better position. And let's see if Brinson Sumner can knock it through and make this a 28-14 football game. We get ready for the snap. There it is, and the hold from Payne. The kick is on the way, and it is right through the middle of the uprights. It's 28-14.
What a drive for the Tigers there, Matt. We just watched the Patriots convert on 3 third downs on their last scoring drive. This time it was the Tigers' turn to convert on some big third downs, some pressure-packed moments, and they rise to the challenge there. A lot of players making great plays there, but twice it was Patrick Shelley to Thomas Speed. That time he rolled out to his right and fired an absolute bullet, and Speed was able to reel it in. Just a great finish to a big-time drive for the Tigers. They've got a 2-score lead, 10 minutes and 16 seconds left in this thing. Both teams have all 3 of their timeouts. This thing's far from over, but the Tigers are in the driver's seat.
Brenton Sumner has done an excellent job on his kickoffs tonight throughout this football game, as he's done all season long. He's also 4 for 4 on the extra point attempts, and Darlington's up 28-14. And what a great football game this has been for both teams. But the Darlington Tigers, they've really had a big game tonight.
Hey, little update for you. Rockmart only leads White County 34-27. Matt Davis, the guru, the visionary, he knew it. He could smell it.
I had a hunch that game would be closer than people would suspect. I don't know why. Brenton Sumner ready to kick it off from the 40. Ball is on the way. This one's going to float right into the end zone and out of the back of the end zone when everything's said and done, it looks like, and that'll be a touchback.
So if Mount Pisgah wants to get within striking distance, they'll have to go 80 yards against a pretty stingy Darlington defense. But, Matt, you have to say the last drive for the Patriots was their most impressive of the evening. They really looked like they were in rhythm and firing on all cylinders. We'll see if Darlington can make some adjustments and slow down this attack the second time around. If you can believe it, this is only their second drive of the half.
It's pretty crazy, and both of their scoring drives were capped off on runs from the quarterback, Coleman Smith. 4 wide set, 2 on each side. There's going to be a fake and a pass. Ball comes out, and Darlington's going to fall on it.
Yeah.
That was a fumble.
Yeah. I think it was a fumble, Matt. There's no luxury of replay. The back judge here is signaling incomplete as the officials try to sort this out. There is no replay in high school football. I think they're going to end up ruling this incomplete.
And here's the officials call it incomplete pass.
They're going to call it incomplete.
And the Darlington faithful, you can probably hear them on the crowd mic. They don't like the call.
If there was replay, that young man caught the ball, took 2 steps. The ball never moved. By definition, let's look at this. Ball comes in. 1, 2. That's a fumble. But it's not a fumble because they didn't rule it a fumble, so it's second down and 10 at the 20.
Empty backfield for Coleman Smith. He's going to drop back into the pocket, puts a lot of air under this one. Wide receiver's open. He catches the ball, but I believe he was out of bounds.
No, they ruled it a catch.
They ruled that a catch.
And let me tell you something. Coleman Smith got leveled on that play, and he threw that in there perfectly. I mean, he just got wiped out by 2 Tigers and put that ball right on the money. A basket catch.
Wow,
and he got the feet down.
He sure did. That was a big-time play.
What a turn of events. The play before looked like it was a fumble and a Darlington recovery. They ruled it incomplete. Next play, big-time gain on the long ball.
Shotgun formation, trips to the near side, 1 on the far side. Mount Pisgah Christian working from right to left. Quarterback runs, picks up another first down on a chunk play.
Read option there. Coleman Smith decides to keep it, goes off the right edge, and picks up another first down.
So the ball is on the 39-yard line after that first down, and Mount Pisgah Christian, the Patriots, are not done yet. This is 28-14, but still a lot of time left to go. Shotgun formation, 4 wide set, 2 on each side. Man goes in motion to the near side. There's the snap. Smith drops back into the pocket. Davis pass is going to be thrown incomplete. Davis Watson got in between the quarterback and the pass, got his hands up a little bit, and maybe it was a little bit of a distraction for the quarterback.
Yeah, Coleman Smith did a good job rolling out there, and he had his halfback there, Joy Chain, going down the sideline. He just couldn't reel it in.
So 9:30 left here in the football game. Darlington leads Mount Pisgah Christian 28-14. Second down and 10 forthcoming from the Darlington 39. Patriots with the football, trying to cut this to a 1-score game. They're going to have 2 wide receivers on the near side, 1 on the far side. In the backfield is Chain with Smith, the quarterback.
Good push.
And, Watson was all over him.
Oh, my
goodness. Pass is thrown. It's complete to Chain. He's running towards the end zone. He'll be pulled down at about the 3-yard line. What a play.
Yeah, and that's all Coleman Smith, man, because Darlington just came with the heat. And it looked like that play was just going to be a sack and just blown up from the start. But Coleman Smith was able to sidestep the pass rush, avoid 2 or 3 Tigers, and he found Joy Chain running free down the sideline once again. That time he reeled it in.
Smith with the ball on the 3-yard line. Quarterback, he's getting ready to take the snap. And he's got it in his hands. He's going to run the football, stutter steps, and dives towards the end zone, but a good goal line stop there for the Tigers. He's short.
Yes, he is.
Smith on the keeper. Down to the 1.
For some reason, the clock is not moving. Just started back. We've had about 20 seconds pass, but it stalled on 9 minutes and 15 seconds.
So second down and goal here for the Patriots with the ball on the 1. Smith ready to take the snap. He's going to run the football right into the end zone.
Third touchdown on the night. And on a somewhat controversial call with the incompletion/fumble, Mount Pisgah made the most of their opportunity, hitting a big play on the next play and then driving the field quickly to cut the lead to 7 if this PAT goes through the uprights.
And it's on the way, and it is going to be good. So we've got a 28-21 football game with just under 9 minutes to play.
Yeah, nice answer there by the Patriots. And we'll see if the Tiger offense can come back out and deliver what I would think would be the final blow. If they can drive the field and get a touchdown here, it's going to be tough for the Patriots to overcome a 14-point deficit with this much time on the clock. But 8:55, both teams with all 3 of their timeouts. Anything is possible at this point. What the Tigers want to avoid here is a 3-and-out. They need to get a couple of first downs and hopefully a score to put this thing away.
If you'd like to listen to radio coverage from Eli Gold on the IMG Learfield, Alabama Crimson Tide Radio Network, coverage of the Iron Bowl will be provided on WLAQ tomorrow, 96.9 FM, 1410 AM, and also WLAQ1410.com, starting at 12:30 with the pregame and 3:30 kickoff for that game. Sans Nick Saban on the sideline.
I was about to say Sabanless Iron Bowl.
So here comes the kickoff from Owen Lindsay. It is on the way and will drop in at the 10, fielded by Luke McDermott, runs straight up the middle of the field, stays up, and gets it to 32-yard line. That was a very spirited, tough return.
Yes, it was, Matt. A nice return by McDermott, and here comes the Darlington offense. Be interesting to see how they attack this, if they keep mixing it up with a nice mix of run and pass. Last drive in this second half, they definitely opened the playbook up.
Indeed, they did. Right now, Darlington leading at 28-21 with 8:49 left to go after the Patriots closed the gap to a one-score football game, scoring on a 1-yard run from the quarterback, Coleman Smith. He scored all 3 of their touchdowns tonight. 4 wide receivers set for the Tigers. They're going to hand it off to Harrison Allen. Nice move inside, stays up, gets 14 yards on that play and gets it to the 49.
Just a great cut there by Harrison Allen. He's done a good job with that all night. As they went off tackle there, he got past the defensive end, cuts back to his right, and is able to pick up big-time yardage. He's having himself a night, man.
Indeed, he is. So now the ball is going to be at the 48-yard line. So that's a pickup of 16 yards for the Tigers.
And this is where clock management comes in. We're at 8 minutes. You don't want to get too conservative, but you definitely want to drain that clock if you can.
4 wide receivers set. There's the snap. They're going to give back to Allen up the middle. Gashes him for another 13 or 14 yards. We'll see where they spot it once the dust settles. But 2 big runs in a row for Harrison Allen.
Yeah, and this is how the Tigers started their night, with big run plays from Harrison Allen and a great push from this offensive front. And they are ready to roll up their sleeves and do the dirty work to get the Tigers a much-needed score here. Just over 8 minutes to go. And I'm going to be interested to see if they start bringing the play clock as close to 0 as possible. On that last one, they snapped it with about 17 seconds left.
And now the play clock is at 10 seconds. So
they are making that shift.
4 wide set. Allen in the backfield with Patrick Shelley for 1st and 10. They're going to give to Allen, goes out to the edge. Not as much there this time, but he does manage to get 2 or 3 yards.
And a senior move there. He also got down instead of running out of bounds, Matt. So keeping the clock running. Nice play there.
2nd down and 8 here for the Darlington Tigers with the ball on the 36-yard line on the Patriots side of the field. Darlington leading at 28-21 with time starting to tick off the clock here in this final quarter of football. So let's see if the Tigers can make this a 2-score game. And as you talked about, eat as much of this clock as possible and not leave any opportunity for Mount Pisgah Christian to climb back in it. Shotgun formation. There's the snap, the give to Allen. They greet him at the line of scrimmage. And so when it all shakes out, no gain. Maybe lost a yard, it looks like.
Yeah, that was a good defensive play there. And they've got the Tigers in 3rd and long. This is the biggest 3rd down of the night for the Darlington offense. They were able to convert 2 3rd downs on their last drive.
Gabe Simpkins comes out onto the field for Will Bagby. Watkins, Bethel, and Speed here on the near side. Allen in the backfield with Patrick Shelley. And here's the snap on 3rd down and 9. Shelley looks off to the sidelines. They'll shift around a little bit. And here's the snap. Shelley's going to take it, and he's going to be in trouble and have to throw the ball, and it's intercepted. Oh, my goodness. Intercepted by number 56, Happy Chain. I believe that was who it was. And that'll be a turnover.
Yeah, that's a tough one there. Shelley, they rolled him out right. It was giving him a little bit of a run-pass option there, and he just fired it late. It was ill-advised. Should have chucked that one into the cheap seats. But he took a chance there and didn't work out. But now the defense gets to come out and see if they can get a stop. But that's exactly what the doctor ordered for Mount Pisgah.
Well, they're going to start off at the Mount Pisgah 37 after the interception and line their offense up with 3 wide to the far side, 1 to the near, and 1 man back in the backfield here with the quarterback, Coleman Smith. There's the snap. Quarterback is in trouble. Watson can't quite grab him. He connects with Sparrows, who gets a 1st down and picks up about 12 yards.
Yeah, and right now Coleman Smith is just making plays. The pressure is coming. He's just eluding it and finding his checkdowns and picking up positive yards. He's really turned it around in the second half. He didn't have a great first half, but he's had a great second half.
Indeed he has, and as we mentioned coming into the game, leading the state in all classifications in terms of passing yards. And certainly when you see him make a throw like that and evade defenders like that, you know why. Man goes in motion. Patriots working right to left, trailing 28-21. There's a pass intercepted by Patrick Shelley, and he returns the favor. The Tigers get the ball back with 5:35 left, leading 28-21. Talk about redemption. Right. Oh, my goodness.
And a similar decision there by Coleman Smith. He shouldn't have thrown that ball. Patrick Shelley was in the right place, and he takes it back. After he chucked a bad one, he took advantage of Coleman Smith's mistake there, and Darlington now has the ball. 1st and 10 at their own 47, 5:35 left in the game with an opportunity to go score and put this thing away.
You think Patrick Shelley is thinking about Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game?
Might be.
He may be.
He's had it a few times, but he's certainly putting his name in the ring.
So back to the line of scrimmage go the Tigers. 5:35 left. They have the lead. Here's the snap. Shelley rolls to the left. He's going to cut it up and run it up the middle of the field, and he gets about 5 yards.
And they will certainly try to drain this play clock going forward.
What a play.
Really. I mean, what a swing as far as momentum is concerned. Everything seemed to be going Mount Pisgah's way, and that turnover certainly shifted things in the Tigers' favor.
And one of the things that we've seen from this team throughout the season is when something goes wrong in a football game, they don't appear to get rattled. They just move on to the next play. And luckily there for the Tigers, they were able to get the ball back. And what an exciting turn of events there. Shelley in the gun. 1 wide receiver to the far side. He's going to hand it off to Allen. He's going to be dropped for a 2-yard loss.
That was a big loss there. And Allen's down.
I'll tell you what, this press box is moving around quite a bit.
It sure is.
Fans are getting into it, and this place is rocking. Kind of unsettling a little bit when it starts swaying as much as it has been the last few minutes.
Well, get ready, because the crowd's about to get really rowdy. 3rd and 11.
So the Tigers with 3rd and 11 here with the ball on the 46-yard line on their side of the field, needing a big play here to extend this drive. They've got a 28-21 lead, and they're going to bring this play clock down to the brink here. 3 seconds. Shelley with an empty backfield. He'll take the snap. Nope, delay of game.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, you know Coach Eighth is just sick to his stomach there that they didn't get that ball snapped.
Oh, my goodness. So we're at the 4-minute mark. Delay of game, 5-yard penalty. So instead of 3rd and 11, that's going to bring up 3rd and 16 here for the Tigers. And the ball is going to be at the 41-yard line. And they will stick with an empty backfield. 3 wide receivers to the near side, a couple on the far side. You got Watkins and Simpkins on the far side. Here on the near, you've got Bethel, Speed, and I believe McKay Rush. So the Tigers get ready for this 3rd down and 16 play. And here's the snap to Shelley. Looks right, throws to the left to Simpkins, connects, and he's going to be dropped after a pickup of 3 or 4 yards. And the Tigers are going to have 4th down and long, and we'll have to punt.
They sure are, and Mount Pisgah has taken their first timeout.
Patriots call timeout, 3:52 left in the 4th quarter.
So we've got 3:52 left here in the 4th quarter of play. Darlington up 28-21. Patrick Shelley had just intercepted a pass to get the ball back after the previous drive throwing an interception. And Darlington had an opportunity to potentially put this football game out of reach for Mount Pisgah here playing at home. Mount Pisgah is, but unfortunately couldn't come up with anything in that late drive here in the 4th quarter.
Well, Matt, Darlington will have to punt this thing away. Going to give you some score updates. Rome is leading Habersham Central 28-14 in the 4th quarter. Rockmart's pulled away, is up 48-28 over White County. Calhoun's up 39-21 over Lithia Springs. Dawson County leads Adairsville 38-31, and Cartersville is up 56-6. No surprise there.
No, not at all. And 3:52 left in the football game. And here's Brinson Sumner on to punt the ball away. Kick is on the way. Got some good air under it. Fair catch is signaled, and they're going to have the ball at about the 20-yard line.
Yep, they're spotted at the 22. So they'll have to go 78 yards to even the score. 3:45 left. The Patriots have 2 timeouts. Darlington has all 3. Man, this has been a heck of a ball game.
It really has been, and certainly looking at the way the season has gone for both of these teams, on paper it looked like it was going to be a really good matchup. Sometimes that delivers and sometimes it doesn't, but this time it certainly has. These 2 teams match up really, really well. Shotgun formation, man goes in motion here for the Patriots. They trail by a score, 3:45 left in the football game. Pressure on the quarterback, he gets the throw out, connects with a wide receiver. Carter, I believe, made that grab and gets a first down, and it looked like nothing was there.
I tell you what, that time Darlington went a little more contained because Coleman Smith has been able to elude the pressure, and that time he still somehow makes a play. He's halfway to the ground. Harrison Allen had him by the ankles, and he still makes that completion, and they end up getting a first down.
Wow, what an unbelievable play. So 1st down and 10 here for the Patriots. Coleman Smith is getting ready to take the snap. He'll drop back into the pocket, throws it up the middle of the field. That'll be incomplete.
And that time he missed a wide-open receiver. Man, I tell you what, Nick Sparrows was running free, and he just put a little too much gas on it, so the Tigers caught a break on that one.
Thank you for tuning in tonight if you're listening on WLAQ or if you're watching the video stream provided by Darlington School. We've had a tremendous amount of fun. It's almost been like therapy getting to come to these games every week. It's been a crazy year, and it's felt so good to be able to get out here and watch these kids compete because you know how much it means to them, and it's just been a lot of fun. They've been getting after it for sure. 4 wide set, right to left, work the Patriots, trailing by a score. There's the snap, pump fake. He's going to put the ball in the air, connects with a wide receiver. That is Sparrows. And that is a big-time play right there for the Patriots.
It sure is. I tell you what, other than that pass that he threw to Shelley that got picked off, Coleman Smith's having a heck of a second half.
He's a good quarterback. There's no question about that. Ball's on the 39-yard line for the Patriots. Darlington trying to get off the field here on defense. It's 1st and 10 for the Patriots, and they're putting together a really nice drive, trying to tie up this football game here with under 3 minutes to play. Smith set to take the snap with 3 wide receivers, 1 on the near, 2 on the far. He drops back. He's got company, but gets the ball out just in time and connects again with Sparrows, and he almost gets another first down.
Yeah, the pressure got home, but Coleman stands in and takes it and delivers a strike.
Makes it 2nd and 2.
I do want to remind everybody that we've got a sports talk show every Tuesday and Thursday from 5 to 6 on WLAQ, Northwest Georgia Sports Live. I'll tell you more about that later, but right now it's 2nd down and 2 with the ball on the 31 for the Patriots with 4 wide set. Snap is taken by Smith. He'll put it in the air, and it's going to be a fade over to the corner of the end zone. It's going to be incomplete.
That sets up a big 3rd down. Obviously, the Patriots are in 4-down territory, no doubt about it, but you also get back to this whole chess match between the coaching staffs. 2 minutes, 10 seconds left. Darlington has all 3 timeouts left. You don't want to score too quickly because then you give the Tigers an opportunity to go down and put the game away with possibly a field goal or a touchdown. So we'll see how the Patriots handle the clock going forward here.
And as we've seen many a times, Coach Atha and his staff, they certainly got their heads wrapped around clock management. They do a tremendous job there. 3 wide set on the far side, 1 on the near. They're going to fake the handoff to Chain, and the quarterback's going to run it up the middle, try to get the first down. He extends, but I think he should be short.
If you're going by the line judge on the near side of the field, he is short, and that is going to set up a 4th down that could decide this ball game.
So 1:54 left to go. It looks like it's going to be 4th down and 1, and they're going to take a timeout. We're just going to keep it right here because we don't want to miss any of this.
Oh, it's electric, man. It's playoff time. Matt, it's 4th and 1. If Darlington gets a stop here, the ball game is over.
And let me get a little check here on the Prince Avenue Christian, Hebron Christian Lions game. It looks like Prince Avenue is starting to run away with that one now. According to ScoreStream, they're up 42-21. And so the winner of this game, it's looking like it's going to be going on the road to Bogart, Georgia, to face Prince Avenue Christian.
I hope we're going to Bogart.
I do too, man. Certainly up for another road trip coming up next Friday.
Let's do it.
2nd round of the playoffs. Be a good way to kick off the month of December. Huh?
Sure would be.
Cannot believe those words just came out of my mouth. It just doesn't feel like we could be getting ready for the final month of 2020. Praise the Lord, hallelujah. Let's get out of this year. Look for better things in 2021.
Here we go, Matt.
Shotgun formation here for 4th and 1. Coleman Smith takes the snap. He will run it, gets the first downs, tripped up at the 25. That was a big play.
Yeah, and you want to be careful there. You sell out to stop the yard. Sometimes you give up the big play. Darlington did not do that time, but they did convert on 4th down, and we'll have a chance here.
3 wide set on the far side, 1 on the near. Coleman Smith takes the snap, drops back, throws to the near side, connects with one of his favorite targets. That is Sutherland.
Heads up play there.
And he's going to go out of bounds. But
yeah. Sutherland initially cut to the inside, but was able to break the tackle and get out of bounds. Real heads up play.
So that'll be 1st down here now in the red zone are going to be the Patriots trailing by a score, 28-21, 1:35 left to go in this football game. And what a whale of a game this has turned into.
It certainly has, Matt. Darlington still has all 3 of their timeouts. It'll be interesting to see how they play this, man. It's going to go down to the wire. There's no doubt about that.
Darlington on the road tonight, playing the number 2 seed as a 3 seed. The Patriots here at Mount Pisgah Christian. Smith ready to take the snap on 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line, and a flag comes in, delay of game, it looks like.
The play clock expired. Huge penalty there. Huge penalty. And you don't want to waste a timeout there. You need that timeout if you're the Patriots, so they'll take the 5-yard setback instead.
So here we go, folks. This is going to be 1st down here for the Patriots from the 20-yard line. So 1st and 15 from the 20. Rolling out is Coleman Smith, throws towards the end zone, extends, dives for it, but cannot haul it in as Sparrows. That's an incomplete pass. I was worried there for a second.
Yeah, I thought that was about to be a circus catch in a tie ball game. He got behind the defense and laid out for it. You got to love the effort there, or respect it at least.
Indeed. So down to the 128 mark Darlington still on top, 28-21, but the Patriots trying to tie this football game up. And the Tigers trying to close the door and escape with a win. They're going to go empty set here for this one. Smith all alone with 5 wide receivers. There's the snap. And he has got big-time company, evades the defenders, throws up the middle of the field. That was almost intercepted by Darius Smith.
Yeah, Coleman Smith has made some great plays, avoiding pressure and getting rid of the ball. That time he about gave the ball game away as he was being dragged to the ground there. It was Christian McClooney that almost sacked him, and he forced it into coverage and is lucky the Tigers didn't pick that one off and put this thing away.
Darlington and Mount Pisgah Christian in a great game here in a first-round game to open up the Class A private bracket. Winner goes on to play the winner of the Prince Avenue Christian Hebron Christian game. It looks like it's going to be Prince Avenue as expected.
They're having to hurry to get set here.
4 seconds on the play clock. 3 wide set on the far side. Smith looks that way. He's got company this time. He goes to the ground. A sack for the Darlington Tigers.
And they will have to call a timeout. It was Harrison Allen that came free, Matt, on that play. He came unblocked, and finally the Tigers got home. It feels like they should have had 10 sacks in this second half, and somehow Coleman Smith has avoided it. That time, Harrison Allen got him to the ground. It's going to be 4th and 18, and this is your ball game.
Absolutely. So the Darlington Tigers lead at 28-21. 4th and 18, as you mentioned, coming up here for the Patriots. We're glad you're with us tonight. I'd say don't go anywhere, but why in the heck would you?
Yeah.
You want to hear the exciting conclusion of this football game here in the opening round, and we are just we're just overjoyed to be here and bring this football game to you tonight from Johns Creek, Georgia. It's been a wonderful night of football, and it's been a great season for the Darlington Tigers. We've had some ups and downs throughout the year.
Sure.
We got through a 10-game regular season playing every week, and in 2020, just to be able to get through all of those games is a win in itself.
It sure is.
And now they're looking to try to extend the season at least another week.
And you may see Darlington come out here and see what look they get and use one of these 3 timeouts just to make sure they're in the right coverage.
Coleman Smith has them lined up with 4 wide receivers. Man goes in motion. And here is the snap. Smith drops back. He's going to put it in the air towards the end zone. And it is going to be intercepted by the Darlington Tigers. Coming down with it is Thomas Speed. And the Tigers have got the ball back with a 28-21 lead and just 1 minute and 2 seconds left on the clock. Oh, my goodness.
That's it, Matt. We're headed to Bogart next week. They're out of timeouts. Victory formation. All Darlington has to do is come out and take a knee, and they're advancing in the playoffs in the second round.
So the Darlington Tigers are going to improve their record to 7-4 on the season. More importantly, get that first-round win. And as you mentioned, head towards Athens to Bogart, Georgia next week to take on Prince Avenue Christian. The stakes get higher every week. The competition gets tougher, but this Darlington football team is playing their best football of the season right now.
And we give Tommy Atha a lot of credit. Let's give him some more. I love this. The turnover, big play, emotions are high. This should be the ball game, but he spends one of these timeouts just to make sure that his players have their helmets on correctly and go out there and execute this victory formation. Don't do anything stupid. So a great call here by Tommy just to regroup and get these guys focused to go out and finish the game the right way.
And I mean, look, Ian, when you look at a coach who has been a head coach here at Darlington for 19 seasons, 17 of those in the playoffs, as we mentioned to you earlier, never had a losing season. These are situations that he's used to being in. So when you've got an experienced coach like that who really knows how to pull together a football team, no surprise with the great decision-making that you see throughout the game in the critical moments. So the Tigers are going to line up on the 20-yard line on their side of the field. 58 seconds left on the clock. You can hear the Darlington faithful making some noise, getting fired up, getting ready to celebrate a win here on the road. The final score is going to end up being 28-21. Things got a little dicey there towards the end of the game, but when the game is on the line, you got to have guys step up and make plays, and that's what you saw here tonight. The Darlington Tigers have done what was needed to do to get the job done and punch their ticket to the second round of the playoffs. This is a huge team win here tonight.
Sure is, Matt, and they're going to have to snap it one more time. But Patrick Shelley is ready.
And he will take a knee, and they will get ready to celebrate extending the season with a first-round win tonight in Johns Creek, Georgia, at the Patriot Athletic Campus. The season ends tonight for the Mount Pisgah Christian Patriots, but you got to tip your cap to them on a great season, a well-played game on both sides. But fortunately for the Tigers tonight, they get to celebrate a victory, and it's got to feel really sweet for this Darlington football team.
Oh, absolutely, Matt. What a hard-fought season for Darlington, and then to come out here, they've played from behind so much in these big games to get a lead like they did and have this team come roaring back to fight and scratch for a victory. It means a lot for this team. It means a lot for these fans. Just a great night to be a Darlington Tiger.
No question about it. As they always say, ain't nothing like a Tiger on a Friday night, and that's always true, but especially when you get a win on the road in the playoffs. Of course, Darlington comes in as a number 3 seed, knocks off number 2 seed Mount Pisgah Christian out of Region 6A private, Darlington obviously in 7A private, and the Tigers have punched their ticket to play at least another week. They're on to face Prince Avenue Christian in Bogart, Georgia, so we're going to pack up our radio station in a box at least one more time this year.
Let's do it, Matt. I'm ready. We can hit the road now if you want. We'll just go to Bogart.
Hey, man, let's head on out.
Team.
One more time for the Patriots.
So again, the Darlington Tigers victorious tonight on the road, 28-21, your final score. We're going to send it back to the studio for a few minutes of a timeout, and then we'll come back, award the Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game, recap the game for you a little bit, and then we will get you back for the Rome Orthopedic Center High School Football Scoreboard Show coming up right after our broadcast. So we'll send it back to the studio. We'll be back from Johns Creek, Georgia after these messages. Happy story for you tonight here from Johns Creek, Georgia, at the Patriot Athletic Campus here at the home of Mount Pisgah Christian. The Patriots came up short to your Darlington Tigers tonight. Darlington led that game wire to wire. They would get the first score. They never trailed in this football game. It was a tight game, but they eventually would win the game by a score, 28-21, your final score. Man, we had a really hard discussion there in the break determining tonight's Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game, because there were a variety of Tigers tonight that contributed to this win, and it almost feels like a crime to just give it to one person, because there were a lot of guys that could have won it. But we've made a good choice tonight, no question about it.
You just and part of that decision was made because of what you just alluded to. The Tigers led wire to wire, and that was established behind the running game. And Harrison Allen on the first drive had 5 carries for 55 yards. He punched a touchdown in on the second drive. He had an interception. And then late in the game there, the Tigers have been bringing pressure all night on Coleman Smith and weren't getting home. Harrison Allen sacked him and set up that 4th and long. Thomas Speed made a nice interception, but Harrison Allen, with the sack, the interception, well over 150 yards and a touchdown on offense, is going to be our Honeymoon icing on the cake player of the game.
And that is for the second time this year. Harrison Allen, he's one of those guys, I mean, he could win it just about any week. And
so could Patrick Shelley. He had a great game tonight. Thomas Speed, what a second half he had. So those guys were certainly in the conversation and deserving as well. But it's Harrison Allen's night tonight to get that gift certificate, and it's just a great night to be a Tiger. This was a great team win. They played great on the lines of scrimmage. Just an amazing effort here by the Tigers.
Indeed, and just to kind of recap the scoring in the football game real quickly before we send it back to the studio for the Rome Orthopedic Center High School football scoreboard show. Of course, Mount Pisgah Christian would open up the game on offense, go 3 and out. Darlington would score on an 11-yard run on the ensuing drive by Patrick Shelley. Extra point was good. Darlington was up 7-0 with 8 minutes left to go in the first quarter. On the next drive, Harrison Allen would pick off a pass. You referenced that interception. That would be on the second drive of the game for Mount Pisgah. Then on the ensuing drive for Darlington, Harrison Allen, 4 yards into the end zone. Darlington up 14-0 with time waning there in the first quarter. That was down, I believe, the 17-second mark. And then Mount Pisgah Christian would get the ball back. They would go 3 and out. Darlington went 3 and out. Then the first score of the night for Mount Pisgah Christian would be Coleman Smith, who would go on to score all 3 of their touchdowns in the game tonight. His first was on a 2-yard run. That would cut it to 14-7, and that was where we were when we went to the locker room at halftime, 14-7, Darlington on top. Darlington got the ball to start the second half. They would score on a 1-yard run from Patrick Shelley to go up 21-7, but on the ensuing drive, Mount Pisgah Christian would battle back, scored on a 3-yard run again from Coleman Smith. That cut it to 21-14 with, I believe, 2:37 left in the third quarter. Darlington gets the ball back. They score on a 7-yard run, or excuse me, a 7-yard pass from Shelley to Speed into the end zone to make it 28-14. And then in the fourth quarter, you would get a 1-yard run from Coleman Smith with 8:55 left to go in the football game. That cut it to 28-21. And by the end of the game, of course, a lot of things happened between then and the end of the game, but that's where the score remained. Darlington wins the game 28-21, your final score.
Absolutely. It was sealed on a Thomas Speed interception on 4th and 18, and Patrick Shelley was able to take 2 knees, and that was the ball game.
That was it. And so with that said, we're going to be heading out on the road coming up next weekend. Really looking forward to bringing you some more Darlington Tiger football. The season has officially been extended, and we are excited about that. And we hope that you'll tune in next week. If you can't make it to the game, if you can make it down to Bogart, Georgia, to Prince Avenue Christian, we certainly encourage you to do that and come out and watch these kids battle in the second round. That's going to be a big-time matchup. Prince Avenue's got a very, very good football team. Everybody that follows football around the state and recruiting and whatnot knows who Brock Vandergriff is. He's committed to go to Georgia, big-time quarterback. So certainly going to be a lot of work getting ready for that football game. It's going to be a tough matchup, but the Darlington Tigers, again, playing their best football of the season right now. They really feel like they've come together and gelled as a team throughout the season. And it's interesting when you look at a team, the way they start the year and the way that they play at the end of the year, this team is looking really, really good right now.
Absolutely, man, especially on offense. They played a really clean game tonight. Only one penalty on the offense. It was a holding call that was downfield. They didn't have any procedure issues. Just played a really clean football game and a great team effort.
Absolutely. Well, that's going to put a wrap on our portion of the night, high school football-wise, but we do have the Rome Orthopedic Center High School Football Scoreboard Show coming up for you here on WLAQ. If you happen to be listening on the radio, if you're watching the video stream, well, flip your radio on 96.9 FM, 1410 AM, or you can go to WLAQ1410.com if you're out of our terrestrial realm and listen from anywhere in the world. So, with that said, for Joey Johnston and Dave Corbin, who do the video stream, and Stacy Norton, who provides us with statistics, we appreciate that very much. And for Lynn Butler back at the studio, Ian, thank you so much for being with me throughout this season. This has been a real pleasure, and we get another one.
I know. It's a ball. We get to go one more week at least.
Absolutely. So, again, Darlington wins in the first round, 28-21, your final score for Ian Griffin. I'm Matt Davis. We'll send it back to the studio for the Rome Orthopedic Center High School Football Scoreboard Show. Stay safe and have a great evening, everybody. Thank you for listening and watching. Take care.